all? We'll find out now. Let's get on to the Rift.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Bit of an invade here. Jackie's going to have to flash at the level 1. Not necessarily what Top Esports were hoping for. Hung as well, also down double summoners. Very good level 1 now from Weibo. 3 summoners down before minions spawned in trade for just a heal on Crisp. Yeah, you'll take that. Not too much else after that. Light and Crisp, though, in a great position now as a result of that level 1. Jackie with the barrier, and that's it in that bot lane. Wind Spike landing. Crisp been very accurate with those, and Crisp, a player we have been, I don't know, occasionally maligning. Off their tank play in particular has been really solid with range supports, the enchant supports in the past, was a big Thresh player. When it came down to those raw melee metas, which is never quite as dangerous, it felt like. Breathe. It's a bit of a nasty trade there from 369, who's got the Mega coming on through. I think as it is a Cassante with Doran's Shield and Biscuit and Pop, he's not actually all that scared.
Question, chat, about who won draft. Obviously, it's a very difficult thing to tell that at the best of times in pro play with teams which win with less good drafts because they're more comfortable with them. I think part of the thing which is worrying me about this draft is TN has a good early matchup against Kanavi. Yes, Kanavi has the Qiyana, which will scale very well and be a massive threat if he ever finds the backline, but the Wukong will beat the Qiyana up until, I'd say, about 1-2 items. Sometimes you can win around the level 6. But the Wukong very much deals with dueling the Qiyana very well. See right here, Tien bullying Kanavi off of his red buff, and that will be a successful buff steal. Tien takes his bot side camps, goes over to the other side of the rift, takes a camp, and will stick around his bot side to make sure that his bot lane is safe to crash in.
Worth noting again at the level 1, there was a really good invade to get wards down on the Raptors. Got 3 summoners off Jackie and Hung with a Winter's Bite. Basically, it is literally just Jackie with a barrier left remaining. Chris burned the heal for it, but you're pretty happy about it, all things said and done. Now bot side, though, looking to make their own play. Jackie and Hung punishing for the level 1. Kanavi coming on down with his own flash. He managed to get a lot of damage available to him with the Ixtal's Edge of Ixtal. That's the one. Skana has ruined my ability to get a Q out correctly.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Kanavi had a kill combo.
I agree.
The question is whether he'd be able to make it out alive. Tien, I think, will spot him heading into that brush. And remember, the Wukong actually deals with the Qiyana quite well at the early levels.
Get a lot of that armor off the passive, and his bot lane's backed. I think he could just be in danger here. Gets another W forwards, flash for flash, survives.
That red buff, really important. That's the one which Tien took away from his jungle. Stole away that red buff and used it to bonk him over the head with it. Good flash away from Kanavi. Does keep him alive. I think if that was a quick key reset from Tien, essentially kills him. Not sure what the cooldown was. Rather than too far off. Tien getting himself some power in this early matchup. And I tell you what, when Tien joined this Weibo roster, replacing it would have been Tarzan at that point, coming in from last year, I thought, you know what, Tien might be able to do something special here, at least regionally. Now, we know that occasionally when it comes to finals and international events, Tien can sometimes have some issues. I will say I don't think that was necessarily his problem within last year. I think there were a lot of people on the top esports team he was, of course, on. Tien for this year hasn't been that impressive for Weibo, the level which I thought, because we have such high expectations of him. But I will say, this playoffs run, if it starts with that kind of series he had versus AL, and he can have a good matchup here, he'll be really staking his claim again, and be able to really remember how good he is regionally.
Tien finishing up his red buff. Kanavi was looking to see whether he could nab a camp away here, but I think Tien pretty astute with his reset into clear angle. And won't be able to find that. I will note, of course, that Kanavi did manage to pick up the Sunshine. We'll go to start his second clear off here just fine. So realistically, he's only down about a camp in the form of that.
I'm just correcting something in chat, by the way. Someone saying that only finalists auto-qualified for Worlds, the rest had to play regionals. Worth noting that there will be another team which auto-qualifies through the second most points earned after the champion of this split. So basically, the winner of finals will go to Worlds in this prep, and then it is the person with the most championship points behind that person who's auto-qualified. Then it's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th fighting off from regionals. So that is the way that we qualify our 4 seeds for Worlds here through LPL.
Always a massive gauntlet, especially if you don't just win the split. It is just a very significant journey required to make it to internationals. Why sometimes we have those all-important names just not quite being able to make it. The likes of Rookie and stuff just falling short in those incredibly long mountains that you have to climb.
Roaming down the river there. I was a little bit worried that there'll be a realm wall coming through.
Yeah, same here, it has to be said. Being able to find that angle. Like Crisp being shoved in bot side. Again, they were the ones with the early summoner advantage, but been forced to burn Flash on Crisp and Light. A little bit rough, and now it is Top Esports with the summoner advantage. Hole was picked up by Light. Again, you will be able to scale up a bit better as the game goes on, but I think Light in general has been a player that has been, how do we say, struggling at points this year. He's not been as consistent as we were once praising him for. Has really struggled as the split has gone on to be the backline DPS threat that AD carries are oft required to be. On the Nymaera, down about 10 or so CS. Exactly the most auspicious start, but hey, you're into a Corki. You've certainly scaled just fine. See whether things can be stabilized as yet. Solid showing in their previous series, that 5-game drama-fueled affair that saw anyone's legend sent down to the lower bracket. Navi looking for an invade here onto the Eagle. He may be able to nap away a few of the smaller ones. Looking to smite as well. Does a good timing with that one. Gets a hold of the camp. I suppose that was a discrepancy early. Has got level 6. So does TN. Grub spawning. Jackie and Hung already on the reset will be here. Rise split pushing away on that bot side. Not at Mega. I suspect got a bar to be able to build here and does indeed start doing so. 369 beginning to get towards Mega. 1 grub taken. Jackie love Valkyries away. 369 building up some additional rage with the assistance of the Honey Freeze. Looks like they'll just take the 1 and leave it at that. 369 needs to be a bit wary here about potentially being dragged all out through the wall, but hops well, won't get hit. Dragon also now available on the other side of the map, and resets of 1 and get once again come on through. Kanavi again going towards the first strike on the Kiana. It is his rune of choice on the champion. No electrocutes to be seen here. Did see a Conqueror build the other week from Tien, actually. For a Conqueror, sort of Sundered Sky Shojin-y type build. Death Stance came in 3rd, that kind of vibe. A bit more of your loser style play where you get a few more autos down. This one, nope, all about early burst, early gold, early smacks in the face. So you get towards something like that Profane Hydra. Your upfront burst is pretty ridiculous. Mega Orange Ball on to breathe. 369 continuing to be as frustrating as possible, trying to use the Mega Gnar where you can. There was always this window against Gnar where I want them to turn to Mini. Sante can look for the Flash W trades. Happen here, just managed to claim that plate. 3 goes wide. 1,000 gold lead here early on for Top Esports off good laning. Johanna managed to nab away that Rap Scout. Got a grub before Top Weibo Sword came up in a little bit more force. Esports just said, yep, enough is enough. We're happy with the 1 grub and back away from it.
We need to keep an eye on these laning leads, really. Particularly that top lane matchup. The Gnar can take over, and 369 is a good player of the Gnar too. Breathe, a player who, you know, we have a lot to praise him for from his time on Weibo. This split, I think, it's been taken a little bit of a back step compared to what we've known him before. Potential fight on the top side cannot be found out by the Cyclones. Again, getting the swing talent onto Breathe, but he's taken all out. They'll be taken down into the grave of Realm Wolves coming towards top side. The one kill for Weibo is good. Get the ultimate out of Cream. The quick one for none. Kanavi overstepping his safe bounds, found out by Tien. And Kanavi, yeah, not really able to escape there, even with his ultimate. Has the first item completed now. But the kill over towards Breathe, we're saying, well, we need to keep an eye on those individual lane matchups. Breathe getting gifted a full kill. It's definitely not what they want. Did I just say that it was Tien that used the Supreme Display of Talents? Because I saw the Kiana. The last Kiana I cast was Tien. And they were both right on top of each other. God, hopping in and out of the ring for some shopping arrived there. It's not do well for concentration, I tell you. Breathe, full Thornmail. Tier 2 boots from Nardo. Very important. Normally allows you to dodge Qs like that, weirdly. Kiana's keeping it towards topside, doesn't have the ult. Tien is up here, by the way. Profane Hydra available for Kanavi, misses the Ice Blade. Hung might come to save the play, though. What's he got in terms of his summoners? Kanavi going low. It's a 2 versus 3. The clone might confuse you, as it might have confused over the side as well. Could breathe. Let's get the turnaround. The Mega Knot runs out with 369, running out of the flash.
Oh, 369 needs to keep backing away. Got to the hop, but the bomb comes on down. Crushing blow is there, but Hung is around, so is Cream. Shahu back with the Between Worlds, though, as Cream needs to flash, but they start throwing out some Realm Warp Rune Prison things.
Crisp.
But in goes Crisp, finds a wonderful angle with the Glacial Fissure, and Torch Beastball's trapped under the turret. Concussive blows, good damage back. He gets one, can't quite get the second as the turret aggro is dropped.
4 for 2 in the top side. Breathe dies, Chris dies, but Cream, Kanavi, 369 and Hung all go down. Tien and Breathe, just monster top esports, and Weibo, they are shocking me in this playoffs. The team which I thought were going to be so far behind our top 4, take down anyone's legend, and here in game 1 versus top esports are making a real mess of their top side plans. Now 369 is up against the Thornmail of the Cassante very early on, and you think, okay, it's a decent trade, but I don't know whether Kiana's going to be able to get that kill. This is a 2v3. There's no Cyclone, there's no Supreme Display of Talent, but somehow they end up making it work. The body block from the clone saving Breathe.
That's incredible stuff as Breathe finds a wonderful, wonderful Pathmaker angle onto Kanavi. And again, Breathe, as you were saying, has not had the best split of his career. But let's be real, his Cassante has always been a thing of beauty. Go back to live in the picture-in-picture, you'll see the dragons being taken as then the roams up comes from Crypt, from Shahu, and they make it an advantage for them in numbers this time around. You know, credit to Cream for at least getting one on the way out, but he just can't get more than that.
There's also, like, something just very poetic about it being Crisp to take down Hung there as well. These teams switched supports this year. Crisp started on top esports, Hung started on Weibo. Hung got benched from Weibo because he was playing so poorly. And then they switched Hung onto top esports. I was thinking, well, what the hell's going to happen there? And Chris went back to Weibo. It felt like it was, you know, trudging home, really. We were wondering, really, what the logic was and how the teams are going to plan out. I think Hung has actually been very, very good this split, but Crisp, we know how good he can be at peak. He shows that today. Perhaps he can put a wrench into the plans of top esports, who, as we did say, finished first in regular season.
Could you imagine if Crisp, benched from top esports, goes to Weibo, and Weibo go on this incredible run? Hung, after being maligned, not great on Weibo, let's be real, comes in top esports, gets himself all-pro first team alongside Jackie Love, who's, you know, season MVP. It's a great time for top esports, only to lose at an upper bracket to Weibo on a crazy run through playoffs. Oh boy, the memes would write themselves, wouldn't they? I'm not sure Jackie and Hung would ever recover. Now, though, it's Weibo who've managed to invert the goal lead. 1,000 for top esports, now become 1,000 for Weibo Gaming. Not like a done deal or anything yet, but Navi with 0-2-1, not having the best start to the Kiana this time around, but maybe looking to mid might change that. Light needs to untargetable shadow away, but that's a decent enough shove back. Doesn't really lead to all that much, but it's a disengage.
Yet the shield ended up blocking the Supreme Display of Talent, I believe, there, so I'm not sure the Kiana ult worked in the way that it did. Hexplate for the Yunara, by the way, first item. First time I'm seeing that. I was thinking about that, thinking, oh, he's got a lot more HP. Steel Caps and the Hexplate means that he is much harder to kill, actually, for this diving Kiana. And the ultimate, which is a lot of your mobility and damage, is up a lot more regularly as well. So we'll see if Light can make use of that. His ult actually on half cooldown already. Crazy at that rank 1. Herald is alive. We're probably going to see our first big group fight around it.
One more banana, but which maybe would have been a decent teleport angle. All that much right now. The far side alteration comes on down to spot out a couple members, but proving very frustrating in the front line. And I will note between the Cassante and the Braum, and even the Wukong to an extent, to a fair amount of early AD, necessarily that easy for top esports to cut through that to get towards key targets.
Yeah, even Xiaohu might go for something like a Zonya's later, and at that point, top esports are going to face up against a lot of armor and a lot of HP. Normally with the Kiana, you really want quite a squishy team to go into. Not sure it's going to be quite so easy this time. Cream hitting that top turret. We did see the grub taken earlier. Split 2-1 in favor of Weibo, so Cream not going to have that much extra tower pushing potential.
Also note, by the way, Light has picked up steel caps, by the way.
I did mention that too.
It's just like, it's like even the Yunara's got armor. Topside turret. That potential bit of danger. Na'Vi. That's the Ice Blade there, but Cream is getting chunked out by Xiao, who's got to back out enough to safety. There's the rest of the squad coming on up. Yunara up the river. Herald there.
Cream has teleport. The chunk onto him means that there's no dive onto Xiaohu. You don't have the Aurora on there. Can they shut down? Oh, well, they just kill the Herald before there's any sort of teleport in. I think they can. Top esports give up the contest. Xiaohu defending himself in top side. Good rotation by Crisp as well to spot out the two behind the turret, which could have ganked Xiaohu.
EP's back in from both mid laners.
I swear if Weibo do it again. I'm seeing the gameplay. I'm seeing them genuinely contest top esports after beating anyone's legend in a series in a best of 5.
I know.
For the entirety of this split, it's pretty obvious we had a top 3 or 4, depending on how good BLG were. Of course, they slumped at the end, and we thought, well, what's going to happen with that? But realistically, we thought, okay, it's going to be IG, BLG, top esports, and anyone's legend, and everyone else is just not worth mentioning. Weibo beat anyone's legend. BLG have to reverse sweep JDG. Top esports have a hard time against NIP, actually, in some ways, too. The playoffs always have a way of tripping you up, but I didn't expect it to be to this extent with these teams involved.
Tap sign LPL playoffs, so not LPL regular season. It happens every summer split without fail.
Fell for it again award.
Yeah, just every time we come to playoffs, it's like, wait, Weibo have made a deep run? What? I feel like I've seen this storyline before. Wait, a major team has fumbled in playoffs? Say it ain't so. On repeat, you say?
To shreds, you say. And his wife? Oh, to shreds, you say.
BLG winning again, you say.
Dragons spawning now. We're going to see a contest. There is a Mega from 369. Top esports are in the area and moving towards the location. I suppose we could see a contest around here. We do have the Kiana up, has the Brutalizer on top of that Profane Hydra first, so in a strong point of power.
Pendulum around some Profane Nightmares. Around Wolf to get Cream into Damage. In goes Kanavi, look for the super. This blind can't quite get the smite fight. It's secured by TN. And the Spring Flares out on the west. There's flash on forward for the Cyclone. TN can't actually get all that he wants either. 369 on the side, throwing up Boomerang to Boomerang. In goes Hung. Gets a decent knock. But turn around with a good glacial fissure. Hung gonna go low. Throws down the Unbreakable Will, but will not survive. His breathe gets the footwork forward. Flash away from Jackula. Cream getting to work. On the other side, Kanavi breaks down the Aurora. But he's gonna be trapped in the enemy jungle. Won't be able to get all that much out to safety. 369 trying to build towards Mega. As Breathe also going on low. Herald! Summon him! Name them Grand! Jackie's got a blast code in a dream, but he gets knocked out by the Herald! Squished flat as Road Rage continues. 369 has to flash TN looking for a Nimbus Strike. He might even be able to get there. He really wanted it and can't find it. Wonderful angle from TN.
Herald, I name thee Grand! Jackula gets battering rammed down to the ground. It wasn't even just the knockup. It straight up killed him. Splatter spree from Tien as he uses the Herald not only to get that kill, but also charge into that box head turret. Give a bit of DPS there, not the full charge. But Weibo, a fantastic fight for them. And top esports, we were worried, okay, well, what happens when these tanky members start to come online? Are they going to run out of damage? I feel like it's happening already. I feel like they're running out of damage. You saw that Kanavi used the ultimate a little bit loosely trying to steal the dragon. Didn't have that then for the fight. And he struggled to cut down even the Aurora. Had to flash after them. Weibo cleaned up the pieces. Really good use of, you know, the Yunara ultimate, of Tien's extra clones to keep chasing down the play. Now they're at 2 dragons. They've got themselves a grub lead, and they have a slight gold lead as well. Weibo are feeling confident.
They are. I've now started to get some second dimes coming in from top esports, and you look at, say, like Cream here, then you've got the fully stacked Rower, he's beginning to do a bit more damage. Jackie's got the tier close to fully stacked once he gets there. Muramana, things maybe change around again, but for now, it starts with an attempt to steal 89 HP. It was TM that gets it. And then actually, at this point they could have disengaged. They didn't have to keep going, but they go.
Well, I think they lose the dragons and think, oh, bloody hell, we better get something out of this. But, you know, Light manages to hop back. He's got the Hex Plate running. Jacula gets run down by that too. And Kanavi has to invest so much into killing this. Tien finishes off his opposing number, hops in the Herald, and cuts down his old AD carry of Jacula as well. Look, Tien, folks, is back. Tien is back. He just beat Tarzan in a best of 5, rams Jacula down. This guy is on an incredible run right now, and it's great to see this great jungler regionally back.
Oh man, you just never know when this guy's going to turn up and be one of the best again. And I'm so glad it's happening here in the series. If he goes through Tarzan and then Kanavi in back-to-back series, that's a statement.
Yeah, there is no kind of more valid kind of jungle run than there would be for that between our top junglers in the LPL. Down to Kanavi and Tarzan, that is more than a statement. That is so much. Atacon now started by Weibo. Top East will have another chance to fight. Can they find a better fight than the last one? Atacon, we have known it's to throw plenty of games.
Navi got the Supreme Display of Talent up. Cream also looking to get some damage in and available between worlds come before. Hung with a wonderful help that Pulverize help turn things around. It's taken by Brawl. That's the Atacon over towards Weibo. Kanavi gets a kill over the wall onto Bree. Frontline down. Tien also down. Cream doing a lot of work before he goes on. Another multi-man headbutt Pulverize. Jackie, Barrier, and Gatling gun rolling. 369 hopping on forward. The door comes up. Kanavi sealing the grass blade. Looking for more. Jackie goes Valkyrieing in. Can't land that edge of Ixtal. 369 nearly. The Mega has got no flash to work with, gets a slow onto Light, who doesn't have a flash, but they get out and trade in the end, 1 for 2, and get Atacon. Good for Weibo.
Weibo come ahead of that, you're absolutely right. And Top Esports, that's one of those fights they would have loved to really start to punish Weibo around, because the Shred is there to make these tanky members more squishy for their quite bursty composition. They can't make it work, they don't get a cross map either, they can't push in mid lane or on bot lane. So Top Esports, the Dragon, they could have chosen to not contest, they could have chosen to back off. They did neither, they lose out. The Atacon, they could have chosen to, you know, I suppose cross map as well, or fight. They choose to fight and they don't get much out of that either. They are not getting the most out of this, and sadly, hang on a second, fight in mid lane.
Chris teleported in and got caught out. You saw Kanavi running at him just before we went to the replay. They do get that kill. Massive Mega Blast Code. Supreme Display of Catalan keeps Kanavi alive as TM went looking for him. Xiaohu is dead because the jungler couldn't get in. And now I just have life from the turret. Remember, doesn't have the flash. The turret's still just about alive and causing enough trouble that they can't keep threatening Light.
There's 2 kills just before the Dragon comes up as well. Light does have the Hex Plates with us, not on that long a cooldown. It's not like a 20-second cooldown. Weibo, they just won the last 2 objective fights, but Top Esports have kept trying, and this time they find a great realm walk play. They can push in towards the mid lane turret, likely go towards the Dragon after.
Rune Prison lands onto Breathe, will not have a turret to go back to. That'll be foreclosure for his prison sentence. Hung potentially dangerous front line, can make his will unbreakable, gets pulled back with the Untold strikes, may still die as Tien gets the Cyclone rolling. To Hung buys time, knocks Light away, but will die. Jackie doing a decent amount of work, the Pathmaker comes on forward, Breathe has to flash away, gets Rune Prison, goes on down, Tien doesn't have an ultimate! That flash was ill-advised, and he dies as well!
Weibo lose their heads in the mid lane trying to pick up scraps. They could have just calmed down themselves. And Top Esports now, after multiple times of trying, start picking things up.
Navi, Supreme Display of Talent, and he'll help get 2.
For all this game, we've been talking about Weibo, how they've taken better fights. Xiaohu going forward. This fight just doesn't stop. Xiaohu pulls the ultimate out, doesn't get that much done besides wave clear. For so much of this game, we've talked about Weibo because it's so exciting to see a team come out of nowhere and contest. But you forget the Top Esports finished first in regular season, and despite the fact that Tien out-jungled Kanavi early, Kanavi now at a 700 gold lead, 3, and 6, has 2 items and just blasted 2 members there in the enemy jungle. Top Esports flooring into a gold lead and get a Dragon away from Weibo.
That's a nearly 6,000 gold swing, basically off the last 3
LPL, baby. And Weibo just a little discoordinated. Things look great after the Atacama. They get picked off in mid lane, and they just don't know how to stop the bleeding. Top Esports, really well played from them to keep forcing fights over and over. You now have a 3-item, 2,000 gold lead Rise with a Void Staff in infantry. Just talked about that Kiana. 1,000 gold lead for the Na'Vi. Some would expect that in the individual matchup. But Weibo, they've fallen behind. 5,000 gold in the blink of an eye. How the hell did that happen? Top Esports know how to sink the dagger in just right into the chest. Weibo will now have to fight from a big gold deficit.
Take a breath. Baron Storm kills even. Gold not. Atakan still Weibo Gaming. Feats of strength. There's good stuff there still. It's like it's completely over. But this was what Top Esports needed to get themselves back in the driver's seat, and it was a hell of a drive to take.
We didn't see the Realm Lock beforehand we started this version of events, so I would have quite liked to see that actually on the replay. And then, of course, what comes after that is you get the Hexblade running from the Nymaera, and you think maybe she can turn around in DPS. Breathe makes a big mistake here. Misses the Q3, channels the W in the wrong direction. You can't change it after you started it. And that leaves Tienen completely out to dry as he goes in trying to save Breathe. Big miscommunications. I think Breathe, sadly for him, has not had the best run of form in this playoffs. Kanavi finds out the last two at the end, so you can make matters even worse. It is a huge amount of kills back-to-back going to Top Esports.
Great angle there, and the Kanavi 2-item Kiana will still do a lot of work, it turns out, when you're given the opportunity to get a full combo off with all of that lethality. He's now got a 3rd item himself, Edge of Night secured. Towards what will likely be the Serpent's Fang, has been his 4th item of choice pretty regularly. Breathe stepping on forwards as tank of choice. There's the picture-in-picture. Looks like it was an attempt to pick onto Chris, won't find it, and ends up accidentally ulting the Baron's hit ward and not the Red's off one.
Poppy will start in the Baron now, forcing Weibo to fight while they are behind. Half HP. I don't think Weibo are going to be here in time. Just going to completely destroy Top Esports. Great to take away from Vision. There are teleports coming in, though.
Secure the Baron. The teleports come flying on board, but Hung with a flash pulverize will knock 2 up. May well trade his life for this. On the other side, 369 trying to be the flanking angle, building up towards the Mega, but not there as yet. And now he's a bit split off, has to flash away, gets frozen in place by the concussive blows. That's way too far, and he dies as well.
Oh, miscoordination from Hung and the rest of his team. He goes in, but there is no follow-up. Xiao, who slaps the ultimate onto the back of the team, splits them up, and Weibo will at least take 2 of those Baron buffs immediately away. I'm really appreciating how both of these teams are ready to scrap, even when it looks like one team is in a winning position, because they back themselves to get something more than it. Makes a very entertaining gameplay, and Cream's forced to flash.
Cream does indeed flash Tieno. Oh, but Kanavi says absolutely not. It's dragged all out, and actually will likely go down, does so. But Jackie gets value on the other side. He's in a 1v2, gets pulled back. Breathe will stand and deliver as he footworks and Topo strikes and flips Cream over his head, but he's got a Seraph shields to work with. Hung is TP'd back in, and Cream helps get a few himself.
It's absolute cinema! 4-man supreme display of talent! Gets Kanavi killed, but goddamn, I want to play that on the back of my eyelids when I sleep tonight. Top Esports find the fight. I'm not really sure that is completely the fight they wanted. Kanavi and Cream still die, but they managed to get everyone off of the side of Weibo, I think. Did Xiaohu live? I think he ended up doing so. He was not in the death chamber right now. Top Esports will continue their Baron push. Hey, what a ridiculous ult. It hits 4 people, including Tien, around the back of it. It would have hit Cassante too, but he was channeling his W. That was a full team ultimate.
That's pretty damn impressive, and it costs so many health bars, bluntly, that even though when Kanavi ends up dying for it, a worthy ult, and Breathe just doesn't have enough in the tank anymore. All the resists are gone, and Cream just gets to Gatling gun him.
That and the fact that Cream is actually absurdly fair.
Yeah, he is now.
No, and I think last series a lot of the prevailing thoughts were Cream, well, he's on and off, and if you see him on majors, we don't like him right now. Give him some of his comfort champions, maybe not something like the Rise. And this time he's actually worked out pretty damn well. 3,000 gold advantage. Xiaohu had some good moments in this game, but just hasn't had the punch behind the combo. Dragon now coming up in 30 seconds. Weibo would look to get their 3rd. Top Esports their 2nd.
Navi now shaping towards some more grass for that Edge of Vic style. Well, actually, it's the name of it when it's got an element attached, but Edge of Vic style's just a cooler name. So, you know what? We're using Edge of Vic style. just the way it is, guys.
Good. Dragon Sporting now. Top esports, of course, with a huge lead, 6,000. But Weibo did get a lot of shutdowns in that last play. Worth noting. Mega Blast Cone!
Well, that's not a bad angle. In, but 369 just get to hop away. And now, actually, Redemption comes on through, heals up at least one. 369 also traded back on Kanavi, looking for a potential angle. Does have the flash off vision, but it won't quite find it. Meganar now going to time out.
Can Kanavi get another mega supreme display of talent? We don't know where he is. It's so scary playing against a champion out of fog board. Not sure they saw him there.
No, they didn't. They do now.
Do now. There you go. So they know where he is. Dragon is alive. Top esports willing to slow roll and wait for a better setup right now.
Right, looking to step forward, gets the Arc of Judgment. Will force Jackie to Valkyrie away, because that slow can be very dangerous at higher ranks. Breed gonna start getting chunked out there by 369 with the Hyper Procs, looking to build his way back up towards the Mega. Was nearly there, actually, that flank angle. And a Mega Blast Cone from 369 can get very scary as the Dragon is taken before Weibo can find their way into the river with 369 too much of a threat on the flank.
Weibo choosing not to contest. I think you understand they have better positioning. Realm Warp used to make sure that the mid lane turret is completely defended. Not going to get locked away from that turret. Weibo get nothing from this contest. They'll have to go back and just clear out their jungle. I suppose it's better than contesting and losing something. Not every LPL team has the same level of discretion all the time. Weibo get some vision control. That's what they do get. Good vision control around mid lane. And they can play for quick picks. Now, if you do end up getting the Cyclone into the Braum, we have seen Hung, potentially even Cream, 369. They can get shut down if they look for a face check.
Cyril is picked up by Kanavi's Kiana. He's now at 4 items to match his mid laner. Quite sure it's going to be built by Jackie Love. He's got a BF sword in inventory. Might be something like the Infinity Edge. Could be something like the Bloodthirster, I suppose. Well, it does tend to be the Infinity Edge for Corki, even though it doesn't have the most crit in the build. It's still very, very potent as a spike.
Yeah, it's just good stat stick, isn't it? On the other side, you know, have we talked about Light's build yet?
No, we have not.
Okay, because he's got the Infinity Edge and the Hurricane. It's not going to be the the Kraken or the Blade of the Ruin King, but given the amount of HP this gives and the utility it does, I don't mind the Hexblade first. I think it's ever since the buff this item is really, really good. We've seen Light use the ult very liberally because of that. He's about to hit level 16. I will say I'm not convinced as Nymaera as a hyper carry. I think she's very good into the mid and the early late game. Once you get very late without having much lifesteal in her build and her self-heal being a little bit rough, I think she struggles compared to many other marksmen in the meta. But with this build, perhaps that changes. I'm not exactly sure how the Hexblade changes the equation late game, actually. I've thought of it as an early game item, but we'll see if that can add anything onto this particular playstyle.
Doesn't have the raw safety ability of, say, of Zeri. Doesn't have the range of a Jinx, and so ends up in this halfway house in terms of that ability to carry. Chris. Yeah, also in here. Again, eats 15% of his HP bar to Ixtal's impact. Edge of Ixtal, my day, Skarner. Why have you done this? I've been casting Skarner for years and not Kiana. Now I'm going to cast Skarner and call it the Edge of Ixtal when he goes in. Breathe is still very tanky here for the night. He's on 3.5 items.
He's closed the gold gap. We said it was 1,000 earlier. It's normally expect that to grow and grow as the game goes on. Yes, he's a level down on the Nard, but being level 16, you have your max rank of your all-out and lots of base stats as well. Like blown onto Navi with a well-placed Q from Crisp. Things slow down. Weibo, credit to them, not taking fights when they're not really in position to do so. I think they could have very easily lost the game by now.
Worth noting, by the way, Shahu just on that reset was on the picture dealing with 369 has just completed the death cap, so he's now at 3 items. That's a big one.
That is huge. We know Aurora is a silly champion, folks. Silly champion. Has a bit of percent pen from those boots as well. So hopefully able to cut through some of the magic resist like that Wit's End on the Gnar if that's your chosen target. Top esports on the other side. Well, we'll talk about this Cream Ride being so very, very powerful. Has himself a death cap himself, about to go in towards a full Zhonya's. And Kanavi has the Cyrildas as well. So we're at the point where we have late game everyone. The burst damage is very, very high. And even someone like the Cassante needs to be very, very careful. Only your W keeps you alive. What also is worth noting, with this amount of damage, your Baron damage is insane!
It's disappearing. TN is around, though, to get a bit of a flip here. Oh, Top Esports, are you sure? They know he's there now. He's gonna get the hit! What matters? A Scream Display of Talent stuns TN up, and they secure it. Fight Apple looks good. The Pulverize, solid, as Crisp is immediately dead. TN bounced around himself, nearly out, as a Valkyrie keeps Jackie Love alive, down to that Guardian Angel. But unfortunately, a second chance of life just leads to the same result. It'll be the Grey Screen for TN and another death for Weibo Gaming. Realm Warp to mid lane. They want to push now.
Do they have any minions, though, to finish off the game? There is a wave going behind them. Shotgun from Shahu gets the Serats out of Cream, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to save the game. They are defending in a 4v2, and with Corki being this strong with so many items, I think if you jump forward a little too far, you're just going to lose the game. Teleport coming in from Cream now, who's regened his HP. Waver, what you got? You got a wave close somehow.
20 seconds on double carries when flashing forwards, couldn't find it because of a rune prison. Now Braid is dead, breathing no more. They've killed off the Cassante, Valkyrie from Jacula to drop turret aggro. Cream goes golden, loses Jacula. That's your AD carry, but the Nexus turrets go down, Meganar into the wall. They get the wall up after blow up the Aurora. Body ramming goes splat as Top Esports win game 1. A supreme display of talent as a firework. Good for you. Was it a good emoji?
Sam, I made the LPL emoji, the LPL logo emoji, Sam, for my Discord server.
Excellent. What's also excellent? The Gyos. Let's listen in briefly. Look at that for it again. So, as you can see, Alex, we have the spiciest of hot pots for Top Esports between Orianna, Jarvan, and Rumble.
Jesus, that's an AoE team fight.
And then they've locked in the Sivir for some ability to get some late game scaling. And then with the Karma last pick to guarantee some early priority somewhere between Karma and Sivir. I don't think a Kai'Sa and Nico are realistically going to be able to out-shove the wave. They might be able to get some picks, but the shove is going to be harder to match. Whereas Weibo, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing lots of early skirmishing, lots of scary flanks and dive and all those kinds of things, but they really want that one item mark, those level 6 marks to stick.
The only person who's actually going to be able to play this game safely is the Shinzo.
Yeah.
Any one person who's caught out of position by Top Esports is going to get done. I'm really afraid for Weibo. I think TN needs to have the early game of his life here for them to have a good shot versus Top Esports, because you know, even the Aatrox, you normally think, oh, he can regen through things. No, he can't if he's CC'd and he dies. You know, if the Jarvan finds him and there's a shockwave after, he will die immediately. Now, Weibo, what they might do is try and trade in one member and say, okay, you can drop the ults on one person. Can you do that on everyone?
But 5 carries, effectively, if you count the Nico.
Yeah, Nico can definitely do some damage too. I am really worried, though, that if Weibo aren't always in position to slap back, what we call it here in the LPL is full contact team fighting, where, much like in chess, when you lose a piece, you don't play defensively, you take a piece back. You try and do that, you trade evenly. If the Aatrox gets burst down, actually the Kai'Sa's going to fly in and maybe try and take out the Sivir. Or Shinzao will not go and attack the person who's on the Aatrox. He'll go behind them and go and attack their carries instead. That's what Weibo are going to have to show in this game. Top Esports, I'm really quite fond of their composition, actually. There's a lot of damage to throw out quite short notice.
Cathian Rain comes flying on through. Crisp is currently a ward.
Damn.
Is that a statement on intent, is it?
This is like the whole Bjergsen of 4 wards. It's happened again.
Been retired for a little while now as Bjergsen.
God, I think for a lot of people who started watching esports more regularly, there are some players which are no longer playing now, which are such hallmarks of the game.
Yeah.
Bjergsen, Double Lift. I mean, God, who is it for? I mean, you've got people like Uzi for the LPL, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he's so big for that. For stuff like the LCK, I would have said someone like Smeb, maybe?
Smeb, Prey.
Horn was there for years and years too. Well, they have a gank here on bot side. Good route there.
Jackie's going to have to get a bit of a heal off alongside the cleanse, and that is a good route. So the double summon is down, potentially valuable. Tien, though, now kind of traps himself, and that priority is giving them some opportunity. Jackie might be in danger. Flash away before the free talent strike can land, and that leaves Tien in a horrible spot. Hung dies, flashing away. The ricochets are good. Kanavi just about helps get the kill. Crisp is low. It's a 2 for 2.
It's a 2 for 2, but Kanavi will have summoners coming back up. The cooldown's coming back up. Flag drag missed. Could have flashed to confirm the knockup, but I think Light would have likely barried and flashed away. Kanavi, 2 kills from this early game. What would we say? Tien needs to have the early game of his life. He's up against Kanavi. We talked about this in game 1. Tien had a great early game against him, and it's a sign of mastery here in the LPL to do that against the likes of Kanavi or Tarzan. You can't forget that it's Kanavi, though.
The other thing you can't forget, though, is look who got the kills for Weibo. Like 2-0 to start the game, recurve bow, and for Carl. If you want this game to work, your Kai'Sa getting a lead sounds pretty good to me as well.
For sure, I think that the Kai'Sa getting gold is by no means a small thing. It's just I'm really afraid of the Xin Zhao's behind it. This is weirdly a case where, because it's the Xin Zhao not getting the value and the Jarvan that is, I actually think this works out in favor of top esports. Call me crazy, I know Kai'Sa with gold is terrifying, but I really think the Xin Zhao needs to be a force. I think there's a real discussion to be had with that. As we were saying, basically, the Xin Zhao has to be the one face checking. The Xin Zhao has to be the one kind of carrying a lot of the entry to these fights. If he is weak, Weibo lose a very important thing to set up around fights, which allows the Kai'Sa to fight in the first place.
Be the trick, won't it? And again, don't get me wrong, lots of flank angles, lots of pick and dive from Weibo. It's just about doing it without getting blasted. Caught off vision doing it. Exactly as you said, a real tank to work with. Mild gold lead to Kanavi. Gold lead to Light as a result of the early plays. The gold lead as a result also stays dead even, basically.
Hey, TFC in chat. Also, by the way, folks, I know we do pay attention to our chats. Currently streaming in 3 places, as we've done for most of the year. We like to see your comments in there as well. Say hi to us, and occasionally we'll say hey back. And level 6 is being hit. Equalizer used by 369 to push out this wave. Breeze was hiding behind the wave, and he just goes out safely as well on the other side.
Level 6 will be here from this wave, so 369 going to trade in while he can. Does get a decent chunk there, and that wave is officially crashed. But Breeze will pick up that wave underneath the turret anyway. Crisp does take a bit of a nasty chunk there from the Soul Flare. Yes, I do know Karma's, all Karma's ability names.
As opposed to a solar flare.
That's true.
Yeah. Solar flares are cool. Very inconvenient though sometimes. You know, because they can send a bunch of subatomic particles into the trillions and trillions of trillions at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
A large enough solar flare hits, it can, you know, destroy most electronics in the solar system. Most of which are here on Earth, I hear.
So they tell me.
Occasionally we
Oh,
got
we're on Mars, did you not know?
Well, we sent a lot of probes out there, you know. Even on Mass Effect, I probed Uranus.
So fun.
Yep.
That joke was important to be in the game. Say it, bro.
I'm not going to say it, Commander. Probing Uranus. We're children, Sam. We're children. Kanavi going towards his rebel.
I've not got Iron Maiden in my head because of that.
Which one?
Children of the...
Children of the Dark, is it?
Damned.
Damned, that's
Yeah.
the one. I consider myself a bigger Iron Maiden fan than you, actually. I don't get them wrong. Oh, yeah. Good song, though. I made a great band live. So
Yeah.
back in... God, I saw them 14 years ago in 2011.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, feels like a very long time ago. Chris getting caught out on the top side.
Onto Kanavi means they don't actually get as much as they were necessarily hoping for. Kanavi has got a flash and a cataclysm. Light also down about half. Jackie trades well. Barrier was used there. And the ricochets will help clear out the wave. Not too much traded, but some summoners. I'll note heal for heal and Light's barrier as the ones that went down.
Gold lead has stayed about even since that early skirmish. Potentially around landing on top side, 369. Rumble. And reminder folks that for a long time 369 was relegated to tank duty. Well, not that. He bore that proudly. He was a damn good tank player, and he still is. Back last year, he went back to top esports, and people remembered, oh god, he's a carry as well. Bringing stuff back out like the Rumble again, and he was so powerful with it. We'll see what impact he can have. Kanavi has level 6. Light has a flash. He has ult,
boy.
but I don't know if he's going to survive. Dunk onto Crisp.
Crisp is down. That's the assist onto Sivir as well. Now, poor old Light has got a flash, an ult, and a dream. Will flash one. Damage still keeps going on for his ults again, but he's just got not enough to work with. They'll get the kills, and Jackie drops aggro. Second kill secured.
Yeah, Kanavi blows the flash looking for a cheeky knock-up, so he does lose the summoner, but Light blows his anyway, and his ult, and still dies. So, Kai'Sa down. TM will go towards these grubs, but I'm getting very afraid for Weibo. 3-kill Jarvan. The Xin Zhao is going to really struggle to deal with this champion. Yes, he's ahead in terms of XP, and that is important, but Kanavi is running this game so far.
And it's not Kanavi alone. He's got Orianna behind him, a Rumble behind him. The shockwave will come down onto Xiaohu Cream. And just to keep stepping away from the Tangle Barbs as Chris tried to read the back step. Get it? Rub secured.
Dragon alive, we're going to see group up towards that. Jackie and Hung going back towards bot side of the map. Hung's Karma has been pretty good this split, you know?
Yeah.
Hung in general has been pretty good this split. I think he got himself the All-Pro first support. Very surprising for a player which we thought his career should realistically be over earlier in the year. Jackie Love has been friendly for reviving him. Flash forward, Light has no summoners, has no ults.
Soul Flare and a little tether there from a focused resolve will get some good work. backs away.
Flash down from Hung, but Light has to recall. He has to recall, and you were saying, yeah, there's not really much way for the Kai'Sa and the Nico to contest against Civic Armor. Now, this isn't a bad lane. Nico's very good at support, but just Civic Armor is disgustingly strong. We've been playing this ever since Season 5, folks. This was the SKT Bang Wolf lane, where they would just continually shove you in, continually give options to their team by controlling the map and then giving infinite move speed to the team with both ults, the Mantra Shield, and the On the Hunt going insanely fast for your team. And that's going to be a big worry for Weibo too. People have forgotten how powerful this combo can be. I remember it because I started watching much earlier than most people. I started watching a lot in 2015 as well. God, that was a powerful combo back then. Despite the power of the 2018 release of Kai'Sa, not exactly sure they can do that much better. They're actually behind in gold now, despite the fact that they picked those 2 kills up early.
This is nice trading well with Reed, actually using the empowered auto attacks from being overheated. Welcome Breed to the danger zone with some really aggressive punches to the face.
But he is going to die here, most likely.
Dream.
We'll see.
Flash stun, dead.
Jan gonna take a couple of tower shots, but not enough to take him down. There's only going to be one more. And the dragon secure for top piece. What's on the other side of the map?
I have to apologise to Quick Shot. It should have been Flash Bear Slap, really, shouldn't it? After getting the Annie dropped on the face there. And they'll manage to get a couple of plates and a nice swing back from Weibo, a necessary one.
Which game are you watching on your screen, sir?
T1 DK's on.
How's that going, sir?
It's 1-1 right now.
Very good. How's it going in game 3, sir?
2-1 slight lead.
Yeah. Dangerously ever slightly.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty good at abusing those.
Baker's farming well on Akali versus Yone.
You know what? Yone, at Tempest, who's like the big Yone main, says that Akali is one of the hardest matchups in the game for the Yone. Akali very, very strong against that champion. Kanavi going towards top side, does have the dragon. Xiao, who just flashed to confirm that kill on the turret.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a very fed Jarvan.
Right in range for Flag and Dragon. Xiao, who might also be able to press Molten Shield and say, cool, my work here is done. Crispin Tien on their Gromp as Hong was looking to see whether he could help punish it. Can't quite. Went to go look and see whether he could inner flame the Gromp and can't quite.
I wonder whether Kanavi should have just instantly flag dragged to get in range of the dunk before Xiao, who got on the turret. On the turret now. Clear out fine here. Jackal still managed to get some autos on turret. Herald in 3 minutes. Dragon in 4. A little bit of time to farm up lanes until that point. Weibo waiting, I suppose, until the Aatrox and the Kai'Sa both get online. And then they can start being their own individual threats. Weibo needs to be very careful about how many options they give Kanavi in the next few minutes, though. He's very, very strong with this just 1 item completed mark, and he's, at 3 kills. A little bit of gold ahead of Tien, decent amount. He's behind an XP, but he's so good at forcing plays onto Weibo. He must track him well.
While Jackie can't get a shove in top. It's a good shove from Cream again. They don't have any grubs that was traded out for the dragon earlier. Get as many as they might like. Still a good amount of plates coming their way, and the full court press is still pretty scary. Xiaohu's opportunity cost for the roam is an individual advantage being given to Cream.
Navi going to get the shield from Cream, and he'll have the standard as well if he wants to get some attack speed. There you go. Xiaohu forced off here. Cream has the shockwave, so he could potentially even threaten a kill onto Xiaohu. That's going to be 4 plates down in it. It's not going to be the whole turret, but you do not expect plates to be off of mid lane here. It's so heavily defended by every team in pro play. Understandably so. It's the most important tower in the game. Top Esports getting a lot of value from that. They get Herald now. That's just a dead turret.
He is. Crisp is in the river. Kanavi actually a bit caught out here. Will flag and drag through the shins out. TP coming on in. Pop Blossom flash, but Crisp now needs to run away. Gets outside of the renewal. TP in from Breathe. Needs to slide across the wall. 369 with a potential equalizer angle. But Weibo Gaming get out of their own jungle from that.
Sick smell shield from Jackalope, by the way. Kanavi still has the dunk. Has flash. Gets 2.
Oh, there's the double cataclysm looking for the shockwave combo. Crescent Guard buys some time as Kanavi just about finds shockwave. Finally comes on through. And TM flash over the wall. But there's a boomerang blade to confirm. Flash trying to get the knock on the Breeze, but he turns around with his own flash and Darkin Blade. Now Breeze needs to try and break without backing away. Crisp on the flank angle. Light gets in with the killer instinct, but can't get the damage. He's looking for the infernal chase. Jackie in danger, flashing away. Ricochets are good, but the turret, the barrier from Light. Cream gets out alive. Hung doing his best to stay alive as Light burns out. Flash from 369 secures another.
Top Esports turn the Heidelau Hotpot into a Baidelau Weibo. Shoves him out the door. The spicy Hotpot goes insanely hard as Weibo can't foot the bill for that one. And they're shoved out on their faces.
would be just about a win for Top Esports. I think it was a 4 for 3 if I did my math correctly, but it was a mess, make no mistake about it. We go all the way back here as Kanavi starts off with the cap.
The initial double dunk is so good. The long-range equalizer after Tien is stuck in the pit. No, it's not that much damage actually onto the Shinzao, but it just locks him in place and the burn keeps going after. Now, Top Esports going too far on this one, because you've used your cooldowns. You removed 2 people from the fight very well. Maybe don't stick around into the Aatrox, who's got ult running after that point with so much healing. Breathe. He's not had a great split so far, I don't think. That was an awesome fight for him to at least make it even. Top Esports should have got so much. 369 still getting away with more kills, though, than him. Great damage numbers.
Really was. Tien now with the rest of the squad, and those are those damage numbers we talked about. 369 was doing low damage numbers either. Cream, though, in danger, stun available. Here's the redemption, heals him back up. Has actually got quite a lot to work. Jackie just gets free time on mid, and turret goes down.
369 is doing the same on top lane. If they get 1 kill here, it's not enough. They need to get something more than that, and they're not even going to get that. Shockwave on Tien.
Boy, there's the flag and the drag. The pressing guard, though, bounces Kanavi to Nadia.
Just goes down. Kanavi, not enough follow-up. Didn't dunk in time either. Gets destroyed on the entry despite being so fed. The Jarvan goes down.
Breathe now in danger. They get the knock up on top of Hung, and he goes down as well. That's not bad. A couple back. Breathe goes down to the turret, though, and it ends up being a 2 for 1 on that little moment. But of course, Kanavi beforehand will make that 3 overall and the turret.
3 for 1 and a turret versus 2 turrets, and of course the 1 part of that trade as well. Top Esports, I mean, getting the 2 turrets is a hell of a lot of control over the map. Weibo getting the dragon, though, makes things a lot more palatable for them. With that in mind, actually, I think Weibo come away okay from this, weirdly. Normally, you'd say give up 2 turrets in any sort of trade is a trade down, but Weibo, a fair amount from this. They need to find a way, I think, into the Herald. If they get Herald, so they can put some pressure on mid lane turret and equalize things up in that lane, I think they're actually quite happy with things.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be pretty possible for Top Esports to defend that, and it wasn't. Really good crescent guard angle to just knock Kanavi miles away, and then suddenly the defense of the turret got a lot harder.
Set up towards the Herald now coming in. We have our ultimate backup. No Shockwave just yet. No Tibbers important. World Ender should be up in time to contest. That's on a fairly low cooldown. No Tibbers could be a problem, though.
5 seconds now to Cream on the Shockwave, so we'll be up. They start this Herald up, you would imagine. Cream going to be sent to deal with Breathe on the shove up there. Control ward is finally spotted. Breathe will clear that one out.
Okay, Herald started. Weibo would really like this. So they feel like they can do this without Tibbers, though? I don't know. They're walking up a little late. They're not going to get the objective itself. Do they look for a fight afterwards?
Herald secured. Weibo do not kill the
No, they don't look for the Herald or the fight afterwards as well. It's a little bit of Safari League of Legends where you look at the wildlife, nothing really happens. So speed away from Cream, had himself to phase rush. Move speed from the distance sees him out to safety, and now Hung's on the roam. Does he see Crisp around the corner? I don't think he does.
Comes on down. Hung will get a bit of a heal from it. Looks for a bit more value as the heal comes on trade. The equalizer will slow Crisp down, but just out of range to catch a couple extra members.
While this is happening, Teleport is now coming into mid lane because Light stayed. Push that. Weibo, good job of disengaging in top side. I'm just wondering if they could turn it around for a full kill onto Hung, but it's a little dangerous to stick around into the Shockwave and the Cataclysm. Don't necessarily want to overstay their welcome on the top side of the map. Light now has himself a second item. Credit to Weibo. They've actually managed to escape bits of these team fights against Top Esports. I think the start of a team fight is really scary from Top Esports. They can remove 2 people realistically with that AoE combo off the map. And that's before Sivir has scaled into the point where she'll just shred the rest of the team with the Ricochet. Top Esports have overchased a little too much at points, though. Weibo managed to claw things back to almost an even kill game. I didn't expect that, I have to say. But now we're at the point where Aatrox has a Moral Motion and a Voltaic Cycle Sword, so he's a decent damage. Doesn't have the Sundered Sky, I will note, though, which is a little less healing. I wonder whether Breathe will rue that.
It does get the Cycle Sword, which is kind of, I don't know, I feel like we've seen it once or twice now coming back.
No, we have, but normally it's Sundered Sky into the Cycle Sword,
yeah. It's been one of those items which was never really truly meta for a while. There was that weird moment when Ambessa first released where people were wondering whether it should be a Cyclo Sword of user. It never really became the case, but that extra slow on auto can be pretty nasty here to work with, and you only kill 1 person with the combo of the flanks, the dive, the turnaround, still good from Weibo.
Herald being used on the bot lane turret, that will kill that fairly easily. Shahu backing off, he's not going to be in danger, but another tower to Top Esports, 3 turrets to 1. They have the Fuse of Strength as well, by the way. by getting those towers and a bunch of other stuff earlier, really. So they have that benefit in this game. Game slows down, and I will say, Weibo are one of those teams which are actually okay to trade things. They're okay to just say, look, we're going to give up something here, we'll find something later. On the whole, they've been one of our better LPL teams. With that, keep that in mind when the Atakan comes up later. Perhaps Weibo would be the team to say, actually, we do give this up. I mean, by the way, especially with one other thing in mind, they've picked up 26 flowers, by the way.
Yeah.
They can pick up another couple up there, but that means there aren't that many left on the map now. I think they should give up Herald and look for mid lane turret. Not Herald, the Atakan. Give up the Atakan, take the mid lane turret. You've already got the petals. Top people won't get that many from across the map.
That's very unusual to see that kind of discrepancy just from farming the down flowers.
Now, Atakan is available. Now, worth saying, if Weibo were to get it, they will get the 25% bonus if it's free for them. That's worth it for them. Breathe on top side as he spotted this 369. No, if Weibo can get themselves a free kill, maybe they feel like they can take this. But I don't think they should feel incentivized to just start it and go hell for leather. You can trade here because of the petals.
It is the elephant graveyard of the LPL. Everyone goes here to die. We've seen a lot of poor Atakan from LPL teams, and it has been great catalyst of change more than once. Trapped in the Baron pit right now are Hung and Jackie. Jackie literally flashes out. That's really awkward. Breathe chunked out very low on the other side, has his more down. Gonna get the redemption to heal back up, and I feel like top equals may feel forced to start the Atakan.
Well, Weibo just lost a ton of HP. Breathe flashed and ulted and lost his more as well. Yes, Jackie Love lost the flash, but I think Weibo, with so low HP bars, probably do just give this up now. I don't think they should contest. Go mid. Push the turret instead. Let top esports have this. You shouldn't contest.
Xiaohu flashes, gets it to disintegrate. Cream flashes in turn. Just about out to safety. Equalizer across so many members. Down to 1700 HP. It's taken by Konami. Pop Blossom is good. Life with the killer instinct. The Catechism comes on down and will at least help trade one back. It is Crystal that is traded right now with Konami. 1-for-1. Atakan secured. Hung steps on forward with the Soul Flare. Looking for more damage onto Breathe, who is Dark Invading, and Umbral dashes over the wall.
It's 1-for-1. Top esports get themselves the Atakan. They do get themselves about 15 petals from it. I think Weibo should have just gone mid and tried to take that turret. With 3 grubs, they should be cross-mapping. Weibo, we were just saying it, they're one of the things which are more likely to give up an objective like this. I don't understand that contest. Top esports, see them on it, let them hurt themselves on the Atakan itself, take their HP low, and then take the fight afterwards. We'll see this again, you know, Light is starting a little bit low HP, but realistically, you know, Tien being low on HP, and the Aatrox not really being a threat because it took so much damage earlier. That's the big problem here. The close smite fight goes up to 61 HP there, I believe it was. Konami ends up securing it, but ends up being a 1-for-1 in the actual fight, and that's top people feel okay with this.
Back to live we go. Second Dragon to top esports likely coming on through. No real contest on that one at all. Being a 2,000 gold lead, they did get that Atakan. You've got 2 items now on Jackie, who's got Infinity Edge second, by the way. Not the Flicker Blades, so just more raw damage. A little less on the cooldowns. Breathe. Now potentially in danger. The Redemption to try and tag him for a little bit more. Breathe. We don't really know what to do. Blast Cone try and get damage onto Hung seems to be the decision so far. He's not doing a bad job of it, but can't finish off the kill. Top esports secure a kill on the top laner of Weibo.
Blew the flash before Atakan didn't have that to finish off the kill. Close then. Teleport from Xiaohu went top lane, and now they're cross-mapping. Use the 3 grubs, and they send Xiaohu top lane. He gets that down. Weibo, do you lose Breathe? And Breathe is an important part of their composition. It's no small thing to lose him. But I do wonder whether Weibo should have been cross-mapping just a little bit earlier. Good from the top esports to make sure that they're forcing the issue there.
Oh, Grim spot spawn out just about okay. I genuinely thought that face check would have been his death. They can't quite find it.
A lot of Aegis build and Merc Treads is a little safer. Yeah, going to 3 people is scary. Red buff stolen. Weibo splitting the map effectively. Can't be spotted.
Gonna try and flag and drag in. Does get a good catechism, flash it out. Light will be forced to ult away from that big old bowl. Does not want to be part of the hot pot. Heidi Lau says it's regards. Flag and drag to Konami will force Chris back away and leave Tien out to dry, and they will fall as the trade.
Yeah, top esports find a good engage angle. Konami was found, but then he dunks down on Light. Black Cleaver burst is kind of insane with him in the sky. Light basically couldn't fight after that point, and top esports will move in and use the HP and the numbers advantage they have now to try and take back some territory. They don't have any grubs, but, you know, did it. Fine parrot killer. They've got attack speed with the W running. Top esports taking to mid lane in a turret. Shields will make sure they can do it even without the wave.
Success. Goes down, 4,000 gold lead. Just slowed down over the last couple of minutes since the Atakan's gone down. We've got a couple of minutes of the next Dragon, so really it is right now. Top esports trying to hoover up as many resources as they can from the enemy jungle, get their waves pushed in, and just give Weibo Gaming as few options to find a pocket of control as they can.
369 has a really strong build at this point. It has the anti-heal and the magic resist shred, so Cream will do a little more. Yes, Cream does have Rod of Ages and Seraph's, weirdly. You don't normally see both of them on the Orianna, but
the Rise build, yeah.
It does mean that you have the double mana stacking, the mana scaling on AP, so it means that the Rod of Ages will give some more AP over towards the Seraphs. This used to be much more of a build back in, like, season, 6, even.
Yeah.
So you saw a lot of it from the likes of, Onivia. Onivia was the big one, really. Nidalee didn't go Seraphs and Rod of Ages. She used to go Rod of Ages in the jungle, but she never used to go both. We used to see some champions like Karthus and Onivia go towards the third one. And of course, there are the ones who still build it now, like, Cassiopeia as well, Rise. Those are the big ones who really go towards it. Baron's Nest one, top esports. They do have Karma Shields to tank it for forever. They have pretty decent damage on the Baron, actually, and they can tank it for a while because of that Karma.
They can. Very swift. Jaunt into the enemy jungle, get some water out. There's that one ward there in the river, which the observers are showing us, and one in the Atakan pit. Now, absent of its normal monster, which is giving Weibo Gaming knowledge of what's happening in the river, which is good news for them. Although I think it's interesting and some forced base checks may have been required.
Throughout the first games we've seen in the series, the first 2, really have been reminded that despite the fact that top esports have had 1 or 2 less good moments, they are still a very good team at finding the correct fight to win a game. They will probably lose a big fight a game, actually. I mean, that's just the way that we've seen top esports. They're not a flawless team. But realistically, they're very good at finding the one fight which will win them the game, and that is why they've had such a good series score.
Where are we at now in terms of our game state, really? Has been a few minutes of quieter play. A minute or so until Soul Point for top esports. Are Weibo Gaming going to feel obligated to fight it? They do have 3 items on light. Maybe that's all they really feel like they need. Actually, just threatening around the Baron instead. They're hiding out in that bush. Erratic sends its regards. It's the clone from Nico sent forward. Vision control now from Weibo Gaming, trying to set up a trap of their own.
30 seconds till Dragon, if there is to be a trade of objectives. Suppose top esports will find slightly more value of getting their Dragon, so we get them towards Soul Point. I don't think Weibo can afford to give up a Baron. Hang on a sec, catch on the other side of the map. Hung's dead. Hung's dead. The problem with the Karma, you are so squishy. Instant death. Can they go towards the Baron and say, you can take the Dragon if you want. We'll take Baron, stabilize the game.
3 items on light, pulled it out, and there it is. Managed to find the pick on the squishiest member, and that gives them license to start this up. 4v5 now, a requirement from Darby. Turn around for Chris. Double pop blossom. They get damage to flash away from Green, buys him some time. Value from the Rod of Ages. Knock up on the Kanavi, who ain't that tanky. Shockwave buys time on a Breed, who does go down. And now Jackie at 369 unleash. The fire comes on forwards. It's the South of America. Barbecue from Texas. But wait, the Void Seekers, Light and Tien actually do a good job of trading back. It ends up being a 3-for-3.
Tien saves the fight by jumping in. It is a massacre. With so many dead, I'm not sure Weibo can actually stay to take an objective. The surviving members of top esports both have teleports, and Hung has respawned. Started with a great pick here, as I suppose Chris just gets the root over the wall. What happens? Is it just the root? Flash from Xiao here. Alright, so they commit the summoner from the Annie. Makes a large difference though. No enchanter for the extra bit of mobility and the shielding. Very, very valuable. The fight messy after this point though. Jackie gets hit, but still got the cleanse, still got the ability to turn things around. And I think Breathe is really missing a Sundered Sky here. If he has a Sundered Sky, I think he can heal up just enough to make it worthwhile. Jumps in, can't get enough done. Breathe, his dive somewhat fails, leaving the rest of the team to clean up. Tien just about gets enough turnaround down if he'd like to see up again.
Yeah, Xiaohui with a really clutch stun there, meant that Jackie Love got taken low enough, and actually on the return to live, it's Weibo Gaming who just picked up the Baron.
Okay, by the way, folks, that's why we don't run replays over really important objectives. Top esports choose to take the Dragon, Weibo take the Baron. I wonder if that's a mistake from top esports.
2.5 items for the side of Light, who has gone to 6, 2, and 2. You've got 3 items for this Aatrox. Got a Shojin now. It's a very high burst Aatrox. Nearly got a death cap in from this Annie, who's at NLR. Can't be miles off. Can get a decent amount of value here in the duration of the Baron. That'll be another item in for the Annie, and the burst from that gets stronger as well. I feel like Weibo Gaming are doing a good job of wrestling back into a game that we kind of wondered would be harder, not easier as the game went on for them.
Yeah, Weibo, they're at the point now where they can look for these split picks and fly forwards with the Kai'Sa. We were saying, look, top esports, realistically, they can force fights very well, and they scale incredibly well with the Civ. We've seen that last fight, you know, even a 4v5, they arguably win that fight. Arguably. Top esports, so much damage on the Civ and the Rumble between the two of them. Got a point now where, you know, Weibo can use the next few minutes to claw some gold back in the game, get to that death cap you highlighted before for the Annie. I think that's a big break point. We're getting to the point now where the Jarvan is going to find the game a lot harder to play. They are going to get towards a Guardian Angel. That's a very important point for them. Once they get that, they can play a little bit more on the knife's edge. Again, top esports, perhaps I misjudged the composition. Perhaps they do get burst out a little too quickly if they are the ones picked. Weibo might have a fighting chance here. Xiaohu caught out on a sideline potentially. And pulling off the play towards bot side though as he's spotted by TN.
Yeah, worth noting as well. USS for Jackie Love, Mikhail's for Hung, and a cleanse for Jackie. That is triple cleanse to keep Jackie up and rolling. What the CC on the whole is cleansable CC. Not the knock-up from TN or Breed, but the majority of it is something that Mikhail's would be very valuable in. And Felsha, of course.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to play around. Double shields from the Orianna and the Karma really going to help them stay alive. Kanavi, have to be careful there, and is.
Problem is, of course, this Baron has not really earned them much in the way of structures, or even that much gold.
No.
Top esports did get themselves Soul Point, and 2 minutes from now, Infernal Soul becomes a possibility for top esports.
Yeah, they really want to take this mid lane out of turret, but I think the threat of a shockwave, the cataclysm, they can't really just pile into a turret. Top esports very happy to say, all right, you walk into us, we'll get the big AoE combo down. You're absolutely right, it's not going to give them best positioning over the map or huge amounts of gold before the Soul spawn. That's why top esports chose to give up the Baron. You know, they get themselves a better insurance policy for later into the game. It's like, okay, we can give up 2 dragons before they get a soul. At the opportunity beyond that, we can take the next one. Weibo need to stop us from doing that, or we pretty much win the game. Infernal Soul for a Rumble, a Sivir, Orianna, that is death.
Worth noting, a few key item completions just got done from Weibo Gaming. That is the 4th item for Light, more of Mount Morsh is fully completed. Death Gap for Xiaohu, GA for TN. Those are big breakpoints and could change the way that these fights work out.
Yeah, that's a good call, actually. I hadn't seen that more just yet on Light. I mean, Light, he does have 6 kills. He's even in gold with Jackie Love. We were saying, you know, there's a lot of ability to cleanse through CC on Jackie Love. You can't cleanse through all the damage, and yes, there are shields, but the later you get into the game, more of those small mistakes can cost you anyway. Minutes till Dragon now. GA for Kanavi, you talked about that being important. Perhaps he can then launch an incredible assault forwards. Less damage on the Orion. It does worry me a little bit with the Rod of Ages and the Seraphs. He's harder to kill himself. I do wonder whether he'll have the same kind of threat onto Weibo with that slap back engage.
Maybe he just feels like actually surviving the upfront burst from Weibo. And in fairness, every champion's providing bursts from Weibo. I can see the thought process here in terms of, look, I'm going to get jumped on repeatedly. How do I stop this from being death every time? This feels like the way to do it. That will matter. Whether that will come back to bite them in terms of the lack of damage, I don't know. You've got the Rumbles at 3 items. You've got the Sivir. You do have damage in this comp. It's just not really coming from the Orianna in terms of like a Ludens build or whatever.
Okay, 20 seconds now. Teleport behind them.
Oh, baby.
Huge double teleport. Both solo laners coming back in. They have the mobility, though. The Karma helps. And the pincer leads to nothing.
That's an idea. Top esports again. They've got the Karma, the Inspire, the Defiance. Get move speed to get out to safety.
Dragon up in 10 seconds now. 369 on a flying top esports. They were here in this bot side of the map first. They have the vision control. They have more information to play with, which makes it much easier to play. But Breed is on a flank.
He is indeed. They see him now. In goes the pop loss. It's not fantastic. Equalizer back. Very much is. Chris goes down. TN loses his Guardian Angel, and unfortunately the wings are about to get plucked butterfly style. They'll press them in the ear, but don't worry about it, Weibo. Alongside a photo finish on the Infernal Soul.
Top esports will claim the major objective. 369 though caught on vision.
try and flash away, takes a lot of damage. Light goes ulting forwards, can't get the kill, and Breeze can't finish it. He goes down now, Light split off. It's a good ult from across the wall from Xiaohu, but it's only really a disengaged option as Jackie flashes on him and delivers a few more pizzas. What topping do you want, Xiaohu? Well, maybe the bear will be the one to answer that one. Clearly ordering for the kid. Xiaohu needs to back away. Gets himself a bit of a shield from the Molten Shield, but where do you run? The rest of the game is going very wrong. Hung's joining. Can maybe look to get towards a stun angle, but at this point, Jackie Love has got a spell shield and a dream. They clear the wave. Maybe just say, Xiaohu, you can live this time.
Xiaohu will live. Jackie Love doesn't want to walk up into a face of a 3-item stun from that champion. Weibo fail their engage on two fronts. Xiaohu misses his flash engage onto Cream, and then Chris only hits Kanavi, who has a GA. It means nothing. Weibo, they had a couple of opportunities to find a clutch engage, but Top Esports had set up that much better for the objective. It won't just be the Infernal, it'll be the Baron, and realistically, this is the end of the game. This will be the victory lap beyond this point. Weibo, I think they've run out of steam now.
Kai'Sa's on Raptors, Aatrox just respawned, Chris just respawned. It is gone. There's the replay of them all bouncing around. They can't find where the Addy is. In the end, it doesn't really matter all that much. What does matter is a decisive victory here for Top Esports. The trade of Baron for a soul point earlier, proving some dividends 5 minutes later.
Yeah, we were saying, well, maybe it was a mistake for Top Esports. We take that back now. Top Esports, credit to them. They justified that decision. Took 2 dragons back to back. A 3 Infernal Dragon Soul is obscenely broken with the amount of damage you already have on your team. The amount of AP and AD you're now scaling up with. Yeah, that's really fair with Legends. And I'm not sure that Weibo will survive through this Baron buff. I'm not sure at this point. I don't think they have the level of wave clear that Top Esports had to defend the last battle.
Xiaohu's on a flank angle potentially, but Jackie's got multiple cleanses to work with.
Pushing in mid lane, going in towards top lane as well, trying to sync up the waves, making sure that Weibo can't defend everywhere at once. Jackie Love will spell shield that Kai'Sa W, stay safe, and again, just ricochet the wave down.
At the very least, TM, remember, no GA, for at least another couple minutes, was locked in that Infernal Soul scuffle. Tier 2 top side, next on the target. 369 already escorts the wave in. Breathe gonna get there. Cataclysm on Breathe, up the flag, the drag, and Breathe is dragged straight down to hell. They'll get the kill, they'll get the turret.
Aatrox has just not achieved the value that they wanted from it. So
Kanavi goes to the flag and drag in. It's got a GA to work with. The Crescent Guard comes on down, and the GA is still there. Not required. Pop Blossom is decent, but there's no follower because the damage is too brutal. Jackie Love is throwing ricochets the size of houses, and the critical strikes have done critical damage to the base. Top Esports will take themselves to series points. Weibo Gaming desperately trying to clear the wave. Light ulting, flashing, dying. Nothing more to be done as Light, like its namesake, is snuffed out. Out comes the standard and the Dragon Strike, more colloquially known as a flag and a drag, and Top Esports suck on the cigarette of victory.
Really? Never played it before. It's good for the draft. Is it good for him? Let's see how the Gyos and see if he's got another bow to his string. Either row. Either row.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Behold, choo-choo on. Choo-choo. You know how else we get some choo-choos in chat, guys?
By subscribing.
By subscribing, guys. That's it. We've got a train conductor on. It's a hype game. We could have a hype train as well, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even going to apologize for that one.
I didn't think you were going to. So I'm not going to lie. I didn't think you were going to. Gosh.
So, we now find ourselves with an all-important early game for Weibo. I think Alex managed to put some very solid markers for success or failure on the board there. Early game, objective control, particularly around those dragons, is going to be paramount. But otherwise, team fights aren't going to get easy. The whole point of your comp ain't going to get easy. You need that snowball to work fine. You need that objective snowball to work fine, or a comp that would have been amazing, say this time last year, will really not be anymore. But early heal, and Chris gets a huge amount of damage onto Hung with Light.
We were saying that the Zyrakan is okay versus the the Kalista Renata. You've got enough poke from your various Qs to make it through, but you can't get the full brawl rolling. That's where the Renata and the Kalista start to tear into you, and that's now going to be bot side control for Weibo. That might give a plan over to Tien. Tien started this series pretty well with the early game of Game 1. Game 2, things got a little bit more rough, even with the crazy early play of bot side working towards Kanavi. Tien fought back okay, actually, at points on the Jin Zhao. I actually think Tien's been on good form for this playoff. I've been really enjoying watching him play.
Me too.
He's a player which I have a lot of respect for, actually, when he is on form. I do wonder now, with the bot lane lead, and with a chance to make a play work with the Vi early, whether he can go and do something fun in the enemy jungle. Hung's recalled early, will be down on XP. There's lightly crisp crash in the way. Tien is not going onto the other side of the map, though. He's going through a full clear. They can look for an early reset instead. I wonder if that's a missed opportunity. I wonder whether they should have gone for some shenanigans in the enemy jungle instead. They've chosen not to.
We just don't trust the fact that Hung coming back with the resets and HP bars could have been a bit too challenging to manage, but Hung is now back in lane. CS lead hasn't really manifested either. Jackie very clean in farming under that turret. That's good news for him. Tien is now bot side, but so worth noting is Kanavi, who is waiting to see what happens with the Scuttle Crab. He's going to try and wrap around here, potentially, and make this a bit of a fight.
Okay, so, level 4 to level 4. W used onto the Q.
The Turret comes on down, but the Conqueror stack from Kanavi makes that interesting. The denting blows and the denting force will make that a bit tricky in terms of clearing out a lot of those dogs. The Justice Punch charge interrupted by a good charm there from Xiao.
It was, and then the smite was used by Tien. Recall on the bot side gets the bot scuttle, gives a little bit more safety to Light and Crisp. Xiaohu on his Ahri. Xiaohu, I think in 2022, was one of the best Ahri players in the world. He was always very good at playing it as more of the utility engage style, and then he actually transitioned into 2023 being a very good slow burn Ahri player. I wouldn't say he's necessarily the best, burst assassin player of the champions. He's very good at finding those tricky angles and then being a person who uses the HP as a resource on it. Of course, played it in the 2023 World Finals, so low success sadly for him, but played at the highest levels. Jump forward to the bot lane now. Snipe and Chris trying to punish Jack in Hunt.
Still that potential for a rend angle. Actually, Kanavi coming on over wants to try and get the smite on that one. Just had the reset, but he ain't looking up with his own smite, and Kanavi can't get the steal he was looking for down.
Okay, so Kanavi, little bit behind, I suppose, but a good look for him into the enemy jungle. Not going to... Cream being stuck in the turret there. That would have been really dangerous, actually. Xiao will finally get his first back of the game in. Didn't quite get that as early as Cream, so we'll see what he ends up buying. Please buy Dark Seal. Xiao is not always the best person at doing that. He's not really a Dark Seal lover. Will he prove me wrong?
Cream is.
Prove me wrong. There we go! Oh, thank God. I've once saw Xiaohu get a triple kill at about 7 minutes with 2 amp tones in inventory, and I'm like, my dude, you could have been so much more strong than this. That's one of the games which I used to kind of demonstrate, and then he went on to lose that game.
Oh, God.
And he missed out on a lot of very clutch kind of close assassinations. It's one of the games which I go back to occasionally just to highlight. If you're playing Ahri, you need to snowball. By the way, there's an item which is really good for you that can allow you to do that. So now you've got that in inventory, both mid laners do, and you're looking to see if you can leverage off those first fights.
Very much so. Light clears out that way. Bot side still going to a little here to see what goes on, but that first dragon you were saying was a very important indicator.
Yes.
Has gone down the way of Weibo gaming.
Very true. That is the first indicator, really. Now, if Weibo lose early dragons, they're in trouble. Now, just because they get them doesn't mean they will win. I'm not going to say that, but this does mean that the first indicator for this game
the death flags have been avoided.
Yeah, for sure. It was one of the reasons why Kalista had low win rate, is that you need these things to happen, and it doesn't even guarantee you winning on the other side, really. It's just that one of your best win conditions is playing around that. Breathe might ult towards that bot side turret as the way it crashes in, but no obligation to do so.
Train.
Yeah, true. Yeah, crazy. Good trade there. The tree damage coming through. And yes, I really want to point out in chat as well, a completely correct comment made by Habs Rock over in Onivia's chat. Crisp is a very famous Renata player. Now, I do think he's been struggling this split. That Hung has been better than him. I think that top esports have benefited from the support trade. They have been winning that so far. Crisp is a very good Renata, though. And if he is going to mount his own statement game, this might be the champion who does it on. He was, once upon a time, perhaps the best Renata in the LPL for a brief point in time.
Not even joking. I was going to go on a very similar narrative bent to you when the opportunity presented itself, so I'm so glad you're on the same page with me, because you're right. I was going to say, not just the LPL, I think he's probably at one point top 3 Renata in the world. Him, Carrier, and I think who else it might be. Maybe on former likes of Aduro or something who wants doing a lot of work there. The pairings in general, that's just a lot of damage back onto Breathe. Gets a decimating smash angle. There is no further pull. The healing is good enough from the pots and the Doran's shield to get out alive.
It's the damn cookies, man. He's got 3 of them in inventory. Pops one and goes, yeah, okay, that's enough of a snack for the road. Sion with some of the best base HP regen in the game too means that it's a lot safer than I thought he'd be.
It's looking a little bit worse for wear, but Jackie Love runs out of cooldowns, and the feathers don't quite have enough to bring down the lumberjack. Look, what can you say? Look, you've had this big old lumberjack come into your forest. There's a pair of birds here. It's gone, how dare you try and cut down my home? It's very rude of you. Squawk, squawk. Chirp, chirp.
That was, yeah, very good stuff.
Taste my feathers, cutter.
Oh, that's a Tenacious D.
Yeah, it is.
Right, yeah. I feel like we're getting to the point where a lot of people will start forgetting Tenacious D references. They were a little bit niche at points anyway. Now, a couple of years removed. Scrubs started by Top East. Were started by Weibo. They took the first one next
Jackie.
to... Oh, Jackie.
Oh, does get the feather storm off, but that means there'll be a cease and desist angle. Xiao who's lurking. Body block. Hero's entrance. Xiao needs to get back over the wall, but that's Cream out in alone. He got his ultimate interrupted, and Jackie got no mana. In comes Sion and chops down the tree eventually. They lose both bot laners and the mid laner and the jungler. Weibo, 4 for none.
The early fights for Weibo are so crucial, and they pick up one which gives them almost all of the enemy team. They will get the 2 grubs, not Top Esports. The Kalista has 2 kills. The Sion has 2 kills too, which could be a huge issue in the future. And Top Esports, I mean, you can't afford to walk up here as a half HP Xayah and expect things to go well. Way too close to that brush. You don't have nearly enough HP to walk up like that. Reaction's not quite on point for the ult either. And even with Hung, with good reactionary play to save Jackie Love, you are fighting from such a HP deficit, the fight is over.
Cream got interrupted out of his ult with the cease and desist. He ended up dead. Breathe with a great ult to finish up Jackie Love. Get vengeance for the top side engage on his own health bar. Now you've got a 2-0 Sion. Cutting him down is going to be menace. Light as well is well ahead. Early Berserk Greaves, 2 kills. Engaged from Hung, flashed away from. Did burn the quickness, but that didn't land.
It's just a minute until the dragon. Remember, there's a very powerful set of players here for Weibo now.
Decimating smash on 2, but the turnaround is brutal. Bailout is good onto TM, but he won't get the heal. Kanavi will call the pack. Crisp in danger, throws down the heal, but he's about to be burned to his namesake. Getting some decent healing is Neferi, but it's still not to keep the life. Cream low, gets himself adjusted, but Light pulls out the spears. Turns out that's not bad into Stone in the long run. Jacula staying alive for a second, but it's a triple kill to Light. Make it the Quadra. Where the hell is the Ornn? He's reset and got off the map.
And folks, it's a Wednesday, but I think it's the weekend because they just got blinded by the light. Quadra kill on the Kalista. Top Esports losing 4 kills in 2 separate fights. Like, shut up, Sam. It's a great joke. You can complain about it later. And Weibo can use that to roll into the dragon on the bot side of the map.
Oh my god, he went there. All right, let's have a look again, because it starts with Hung looking for a pick and can't quite land it. And then I thought, honestly, Kanavi started getting a couple kills. I think, oh, this looks pretty dicey.
For sure. But then you look at Light, who's been stacking up the lethal tempo ever since this point. The damage goes onto the jungler, and it goes onto the support. You still have a Sion, who actually has very high base damages at this point, and buys a lot of space for the Kalista, and the Kalista has a full stacked lethal tempo, going through the Ren sets, making sure he gets a reset on each of them, flashes past the feathers. Yes, the knockup comes through, but the damage is done. Kalista's rolling. Kalista is now unstoppable. That's a 6-kill Kalista. Dragon on the table.
Oh, boy.
Weibo should claim that. Now we have that question again. First dragon going well. We thought, okay, first flag passed. They've done that well. Then they started getting the early fights as well. And now with the second dragon, this is a green light composition for Weibo. They are online.
All systems go. Blade of the Ruin King in. Upgraded Berserk Greaves. This Kalista's going to be a problem. Xiaohu now potentially going to try and catch out Hung here, who does get over the wall. Will be able to potentially battle down towards Kanavi. Gets the quickness down initially. Needs to find a hand out, but gets cease and desisted. Can't get in range, as it's not the Xayah, so the extended range not there.
kill onto the Rakan as he goes a little too far. Hung having a harder game of it this time. Good smite from Kanavi. 3 seems like make it, but there's a great Renato overall.
Oh boy, I don't think it's gonna matter. The core of the pack is good. Tien gets bailed out briefly, but it's a reset. Light doesn't get jumped up because Xiao interrupts it with the charm. There's nowhere really, I think, for Kanavi to go. We'll get a little damage down onto the Ahri. Looking for some Darkin daggers. Can't eviscerate forwards, and they do eventually bring that one down. Bot side Cream gets jumped on by Breathe, but is clearing out the way best he can.
Ends up being a trade of junglers. Kill over towards the Ahri, who gets 6 stacks on the Dark Seal now. That's nasty. I really want him to go towards the Leandri's build again in this game, by the way. We've seen a lot of Ahri players move away from it, but I think it has a lot of value here against so many HP stackers. And Xiao, who was a good player of the slow burn build before. And the big problem is, top esports, I just don't think they're reaching the Kalista in the right kind of times. The Kalista is too powerful now. The problem is with the Kalista Renata, if the Kalista gets ahead, it's not enough to kill the Kalista the first time. And when they're fed, they will often turn around for a kill in the duration of the bailout. Top esports have got an uphill battle to fight now. 4,000 gold behind, objectives behind, and their primary target, the Kalista, is not an easy one to deal with. How do you get into the play, kill them, and then get out? That is a hard task.
The answer is you don't. Hung trying to do the best of battle wall here. Again, when you've got the Xayah around and you're quick enough with your E press, you can theoretically just bounce out to safety.
I just love how this is the... Hang on a second, this is a great shot. Impressive there from Shadow. I love how we talked a lot of smack about Weibo's drafting it, guys. You just picked a Vi Ahri into a Nafiru with W, a Xayah with ults, and then also the Galio ult too. Shadow does have ult, does have flash. Can he get out safely?
Still got no charge up with mid lane, looking at Light, gets a redemption, jumps on top of him, that's really good value. Redemption heal, he should surely go down, bailout! Bailout! It's enough! The company survived with the influx of cash.
The Bank of Crisp delivers financial aid at just the right time. 8 kills for the Kalista. What was the thing we were saying? How do you kill the Kalista and then get out? Well, the answer is you don't. So close. A flash used by Jaculov to get onto him, and it wasn't enough. They lose another couple of kills. They'll lose the turret in mid lane. Cream's gonna get forced out of top lane as well. He's in danger.
Gets his Justice Punch interrupted. The Orb of Deception, true damage would have been enough. He had to flash it.
And he did. Top East was falling apart across the board. The early game comp from Weibo, I mean, forgive me, I was not familiar with their game. They've managed to play through the early fight so well. They have threaded the needle. This is not an easy comp to play against top esports. If they hadn't got these early fights, I think it would have been so harder if we reached this point in the game on even footing, but that just hasn't been the case. Jaculov flashed forward, trying to give an extended engage range towards Hung, which he does use, but Crisp is on the roam, and just about, with the redemption, with the bailout coming through as well, gets the value that they need to make sure the bailout lands and the double kill comes through. So close, and no Kalista.
Just look at the excitement there. Stressed again. 0-2 down. Weibo pulled off a miracle the other day. Do it against the first seed. Crisp do it against his former team from this year.
Oh, surely Weibo don't reverse. Surely they don't. Even for Weibo, that would be a menace too far.
But this is LPL playoffs, baby. It's LPL summer playoffs.
I'm just saying.
Well, this is on the line.
2 years ago, I was in Xi'an casting the LPL finals and the regional qualifiers after. And the same conversations came around Weibo because they were just the would they, won't they team. I said a phrase there, which I feel has come back to haunt me and you over the years. Weibo Gaming, consistently inconsistent. Do I know what this team's going to do next? Fuck no. Do you know it? Not much better either. Weibo are a team which continually challenge your judgments of them for better and for worse. A wonderful team for entertainment purposes, but for the fans out there, I don't know how you deal with it.
I'm looking at Cream now as well, who's 2/3 of the CS of the RE. It's only got 100 farm in 16 minutes. It's gone towards a rocket belt build to be squishy as on top of all of this. This is looking tough here. Your front line isn't. It's more like a front suggestion.
Front scribble.
So yeah. It's like, you know, those children's finger paintings, you know? It's not really a straight line drawn with a ruler.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And on the other side, that is a 2-item Kalista.
I'm reminded that the 2-item spike of Kalista was buffed not too long ago with the AP ratio added to E, which means that it does benefit from from the Rage Blade. Dragon will be taken, that will be Cloud's soul point, and look, any soul for Weibo is an important one. Actually, the Cloud does really naturally try and walk away from plays. Galio is going to particularly hate going into a play and walking out of it. Again, just makes it so much harder to retreat from the play.
Trying to get the shield around, chunks down, but Cream again does nothing this game. Get decimating smash. Actually, he needs to be careful. I think he might end up getting forced back a little there. Mid lane turret has fallen, so I think Jackie can't stay in lane because the Kalista will run you down. The mobility, the consistent DPS is just way too high, and the healing at this point, you've got enough sustain to not be threatened by burst.
Herald used on the bot lane outer turret because the other outer turrets are gone. Where's that charge going? Is that going to... okay, the rest of the team is coming in. This should be a safe charge. I did wonder whether there would be a knock-up ready away from the 3 at the time, but there's no Galio in range. Put the charge into the bot lane in a turret, remove some HP there. No Dragon for 4 minutes. Weibo, they are so far ahead. They are so far ahead. And top esports, I don't get how they win this game now. They will have to win through some massive missteps from Weibo. They don't have a Dragon to sneak to get them a soul point. Perhaps an Atakan from. That's the nature of the meta for this year. It has been. Occasionally, you can just lose a game at Atakan.
Allow me to stick on my really poorly applied clown makeup and go, it's simple. You kill the Batman, and that's what you have to do. You gotta kill Kalista. So, like, if you can kill Kalista before a fight, make it a 5v4, just the fight's this one.
You want to know how I got these flowers? Killing the Atakan.
Yeah. Atakan Asylum.
You know, my partner's never watched the Dark Knight trilogy before. I really need to get them sat down and watch that, actually.
I need to watch the new Batman movie.
Yeah, I heard that's great. Yeah,
and the new Superman one.
The thing which somewhat annoys me, because no, not that I want to gatekeep. It kind of gave a renaissance to Something in the Way by Nirvana, which is one of my favorite Nirvana songs. But Nirvana are one of my very favorite bands. And that movie is like, oh, I've heard this song. Yeah, Good By the Way, that's not still the blue one. And I'm like, my guys, you could have just listened to Nirvana before this. It's been a good time. It was a good song before Batman, by the way.
There's a whole you're a generation ahead, Alex. They won't have heard all of these songs.
Oh, don't call me
And if I say, I hate to do it to you, but you know, like, is it really their most famous song?
No, it's not, but it's a very good song.
It is.
You know, there was famously a gig where their support act was like very unfairly heckled. So Nirvana then just went on stage and played none of their big hits. So they went and played
Something in the Way.
No, well, they played all of their B-sides and stuff, which is not Something in the Way.
For the record, Something in the Way is not a B-side. It's one of their biggest songs.
It's actually very big. Yeah. Look, it was on Nevermind. It's a huge song. Any song on that album is. Dragon's up in 2.5 minutes now. Timer ticking down. I don't know how Top Esports is going to approach this one. They are a very good objective-based team. Can they get enough damage onto the Kalista through the Renata ult, through the bailout? Can they separate someone away from the team and kill them? With no Lord Dominate's regards on Jackula, very hard to do that toward the Scion.
Have a second item.
They're going to have to force some big cooldowns out of Weibo in the next minute. If they force that out there, maybe they can take a fight. W's not bad from Kanavi.
It is. Jackie also needs to reset and try and turn that zeal into something that is not a zeal. In they go on the other side, though. Tien jumps on. Wait, that's a dead Kanavi. Good talk up back as Tien has to flash away. Xiaohu also low on the other wide. Breathe is keeping Jackie and Hung busy. They try to go in. They do get the knockup. That's an important kill. Bailout is not going to be needed there at the moment as the hostile taker came on forward. Breathe flashes on forward and roars. Slayer he is, and they'll lose Hung as well. It's a 2-for-1. Jungler for jungler, but Hung is also traded.
And Breathe is unkillable. That is the real problem blocking Top Esports in that fight. Look at the HP that Sion has. That is a full fight of tanking the Xayah. Atakan is alive and available. Charm onto Cream, and this is not a tanky Galio. He'll have to retreat and teleport back in. There is no smite from Weibo, but they do have a rend if they do want to really force down the objective.
Jackie's back out, still doesn't have a second item. He's got double daggers in the dream. Xiaohu got chunked really hard there. We'll have a look at the replay because it starts with Kanavi getting jumped.
That's a good double heat. That's one of the reasons we were worried actually about them by Ari into the Nasiri and the Xayah. There's a lot of ways to disengage the point. It's like combo actually. He walks back again, ults over the wall. You think, okay, well, this is under the turret, right? My Ari is a combo, not just the Vi. There's a Fox following them into the play. Turnaround's not bad. Tien does very nearly die on the buy here. But then this is where the problem really comes in. That fight, I suppose, a bit even. Jackula cannot do anything about the Scion. He is hitting the Scion for the grand majority of this fight, and Breathe does not give a damn.
Flash is blurned into fairly key locations, I'll note. Crisp, Light, Tien, Breathe, all down theirs. The problem, of course, is that Hung and Jackie are also missing those. Second item just got done for Jackula. There's the Flicker Blades. Xiaohu not face checking yet. All
Yeah.
upgrades coming in for Jackie Love. He's just got an upgraded Essence Reaver.
Yeah, Weibo, I guess they feel like they want to take the Ant-Con a bit more again.
Oh dear.
Xiaohu on the flank. Ornn gets chunked out. Tries to focus from Xiaohu. 369 taking more damage than I thought he would there, actually.
Very much. They get the knock on the breathe, but again, he just doesn't take damage right now. Oh, goodbye, 369 tries to flash, still gets knocked up. In comes the onslaught and the hostile takeover. Will make sure that Jackie has to get the feathers and the choke point. Gonna continue trying to hunt for some more, but all the while Jackie's going to 1v3. The damage is surely gone. There's a bailout for Light, and he gets to reset.
The damage is not there for top esports. As Weibo flip them under the table. They're on top now. Hung, their old support, will hit the deck with them. And Weibo mount themselves a good game 3. Not to be completely locked out in this series. 9,000 gold ahead. About to get themselves the Cloud Soul, and indeed they get it there. A flash over the wall, a charm from Xiaohu. Kanabi will join his brethren and the rest of the pack. In the sepia screen, Weibo crushing through this game. They're yet to lose a fight.
It's been very one-sided, hasn't it? Early lane priority. That skirmish that got Light all the way up to 6 kills. He's got 3 items. Have a look at the replay again, because it starts with 369 trying to do what he can to ward off Xiaohu, and this with Adderley. Andrew's build still makes 369 suffer.
Just manages to land all the skill shots. 369 just not tanking yet. The charm isn't immune a little bit by the W, but the charm still lands a little bit after. Xiaohu has multiple points in the E. That's an important thing, by the way. That wouldn't happen if he hadn't leveled enough points in his charm a little bit earlier. Sometimes you do. Xiaohu's one of the guys that tandem maxes W, and he actually put multiple points. And we were talking about how do you kill the Ballista, Renato, when they're this far ahead with lacking damage? The answer is you don't. The bailout always makes it so much of an issue. Medjay is now built up for Xiaohu. Go on, my son. Fight in the enemy jungle.
Again, jumps on to Navi, who will call the pack briefly, but unfortunately they're immediately impounded. Straight back to the city's care.
I'm just saying, I would have left them alive so Ari could come in and get the Medjay stacks. These small optimizations, you can work on this stuff, folks. You call it ego, I call it efficient gameplay. Tian might just walk into 369. Suppose the other way around. Ari pushing out top side of the map, teleporting in. Topias was having to defend now, a member down. This game is so unplayable. And Weibo, when you believe in them least, that's when they strike the hardest.
Onto the turret they go. It is being smacked down. Jackie does negative damage to Breeze. He cannot break the shield.
I mean, they don't have any pen. They have 0 pen on their team besides a Black Cleaver on the person who is dead. Dog dead.
Dog days are over.
Dog days, well, I mean, they've started again just now, but I'm not sure they'll last that much more. I have to schedule in another date for them. Xiaohu safely able to push out this top side of top esports. I just wonder whether they should have avoided some more of those early game fights. The 2 4-kill fights in a row at the Grubs and then that Dragon were just awful for top esports. I wonder whether they should have just waited out a little bit of the early spike, took what they could get, and then play around their normally very good objective play after that point. Weibo, real credit to them, making Kalista Ronaldo work in a way that most teams globally have not been able to.
They draft it when their backs are against the wall. Now their backs are a little bit further away from it. It's not done yet. All but 11,000 gold in the lead. Teleport's coming on in. Weibo swarming top esports red side jungle. Where all of that vision. Burns the ghost. It's just so unkill. Oh, the charm lands, and that's a hostile takeover. It's going to force the Ornn to start smacking his own support. Galio is dead. Into the enemy base they go. They kill off Kanabi. Jackie in a 1v2. Trying to throw out the feathers. A flash over them. Ensures another kill. And Ari gets a few more stacks for the Medjay. Up to 24.
Weibo crush through game 3, not to be completely wiped here. Top esports destroyed them in the first 2 games, despite Weibo having a good early game looking here or there. Weibo, reminder, they just took down anyone's legend, our defending champions. Top esports, they're our first seed coming out of regular season. Did we believe in Weibo? No. Does that change anything about this team? Absolutely not. When you pound this team out, they strike the hardest, and they mount themselves a hell of a game here. 15,000 gold ahead. Well, are we going to see a 20,000 gold deficit by the time the game ends?
Might well be one of those fabled options. We don't see it very often at all. Over the wall comes Xiaohu, gets the charm, and Cream just has not had fun this game. Really, really hasn't.
replay of this. I mean, this is a bit of a victory lap now. Now, they realistically don't have the damage on Xayah to kill the front line, so they can't separate them out, and they don't have the damage to dive onto the... Just even the Crumps. You know, that's so mean. Xiaohu's almost at the death cap as well, and at that point, it's just, you know, one-shot city.
We've got 42 petals, Atakan, a 16,500 gold lead or so. Cloud Soul, Baron. It's about as dominant a game as you could ask for. Nearly a death cap for the Ahri.
Yeah.
But a tier 2 between them and another inhibitor turret.
The hardest thing is actually picking an MVP for this game. You know? Is it Crisp for his clutch bailouts? Is it Light for his crazy micro on the Kalista? Yes, who's set up for his team. To catch in the mid lane, there's a GA on the Vi, though. That's not necessarily the easiest person to go towards.
Oh my days, the Orb of Deception is anything but deceptive. That was very blunt indeed. In goes Light with the rest of the team. The knock-up set up Kalista to move to 15 kills deep. They need 1,000 more gold somewhere on the line to make sure they are at that decisive, destructive statement of a 20,000 gold lead. They are finally over it. Weibo Gaming do not go quietly into the night. And with a draft we had questions of, we raised eyebrows of. They've gone up our foreheads for another reason, because hot damn did they deliver.
Weibo go down 0-2, all hope is lost, and they win a game.
To the Rift we go. For our 4th time today. Morgana mid, Vayne ADC, crowds yelling. Oh, mid lane, flash already, shield vault. Xiaohu has to flash and turn.
全军出击。
Actually, it was just Xiaohu that had to flash, so hold on to that. That's pretty good. Morgana vulnerable to ganks if she doesn't have that flash. Black shield saves you to some extent. Light 6th gain of Vayne all time. 2 and 3 on it. First Vayne this split. Okay. So, Light on a beautiful looking skill. Is that the... it's not the Uzi skin, is it? That looks like it's the Sentinel Light one. Last Vayne game was Uzi. Oh my god. So, what's the thought process of the Vayne here? Hook. Zenith Blade, I suppose. So, sword. Chunk onto Hung. Not that much more. You have got 3 melees and a short range AD carry, with which the Vayne can duel. Trundle, Ambessa, Leona to cause some chaos for the Vayne to work with. A Black Shield to keep them safe. You are still short range as a Vayne into a Pantheon, a Yorick. And a double hyper carry and a Victor and a Zeri. So, Light's going to have to deliver here. Not a straightforward Vayne game. It's like you're into Scions and Orns and the traditional tanks that Silver Bolts are normally so famously good against. You can kick some of the engage away. Is running cleanse. Maybe get a Mikhail. We'll have Black Shield, as we've said. Xiaohu 0-1 on the Morgana. Has played it, though. The Morgana again. theoretically just gets to shove in. We thought it was going to be a jungle option. It's been the way a lot of people have been throwing it. Beichuan had a good game on it for BLG in their victory the other day. How many games of Morgana has Xiaohu got across his career? 2. 0% win rate. 3rd game of all time. Not exactly a specialty pick. Lost in the game versus AL. 0-4-3. Trying it again here. Sure what that matchup was there, actually. Engage towards the bot side. Light going to the cleanse. Gets to stay alive as Hung went looking for the flash engage. Heal cleanse down. Kanavi now looking to get inside and put down a ward. That was into Shanks on Kassadin, by the way. Kassadin for V Morgana. God bless. But Weibo have decided again to do a bit of cooking. They have been willing to do that across playoffs. See whether it pays off. They are realistically going to want an early Kraken Slayer probably for the Vayne. Wants that attack speed pretty handily. Wants to cycle through those silver vaults as much as possible. Could Blade of the Ruin King and some of the HP stackers of like the Pantheon, the Realm, Yorick, even the Victor to an extent, who does love like the Roa builds. Tomato, just be a little careful with spoilers. Don't worry about it. I know people are excited about the other series that's happening right now. I know it's a game 5 over in the LCK, and that's pretty exciting. But if we can be excited without offering spoilers, that will be important. Gentle reminder on that one. Top side, breathe. Being shoved in early. Again, feel free to be excited. It's not a problem. Top got everything meta while Weibo picked off meta and wow, yeah, they could be a lot of fun. You get the early call for Cull. Breathe needs to be a little bit careful there, actually. Has yet to TP, but then again, neither is 369. Doran's shield and a biscuit should make them safer than you think. And of course, 369 very low on mana right now. Can theoretically throw out the Morning Mist and summon some of those Mistwalkers. 10 minutes in. Oh, baby. Tien's around. Little Slugger Trump. Oh, flash, shield vault! Comet Spear secures it and Breathe. Too greedy sticking around on that HP. Blink of an eye, he dies. Xiaohu's flash is back up. But hasn't really been able to get around the map very well, because again, with the flash being down, not easy to threaten in the lane. Been trading well so far. Comet for Comet there, by the by. Teleport coming top side now. 369 might be a danger, who has TP'd in himself. Goes down the dark concession. Is likely going to lose his maiden here though. Pulling away as fast as it can and can't. Yorick no wife. On a long cooldown this early in the game. Rubs looking like they will go the way of Weibo Gaming at this point. Doesn't look like with the way swaps have worked out. Timings that top esports are all that bothered about contesting too aggressively here. Like some of these this vision control. Maybe the last grub if TN overstays. Good dark binding, but Kanavi can step on forwards here. Shield Vault, Comet Spear, Smite available. TN will have to flash out the back of it and will, but 3 grubs secured. At cost of flash, another dark binding. Cream, bit unfortunate. Solar Flare, Magnet Storm. Proudly Field is okay, but it's now a 3v2. Damage on the Xiaohu, who has run out of cooldowns, needs to flash away. Good dark pull though. as the tormented shadow into the public execution is a lot of damage. And Weibo Gaming come out of the river with 3 kills. Oh, Cream, why would you face check? Morganas do what Morganas are designed for. Hit the binding. And it all plays out from there. Now the gold lead is pretty handily in the way of Weibo Gaming. See Xiao, who tries to chunk him and just eats the binding. You didn't know where the rest of the team was. You have to think about flashing there. The Mighty Storm is solid enough, but without Cream alive, the damage is always going to be limited. Xiao still had the flash. Another binding lands. Xiao's out. If Weibo bring us to Silver Scrapes from 0-2 down. A 1-2 of Ambessa Morgana. You go, Morgana jungle. And then they're not the trundle. He gets a weird out. Of course, it is Xiaohu. Played it before, not successfully, of course. This time, already better. Last game, he went 0-4-3 on the damn champ. You're still, of course, into Zeri, into Victor. Yorick scales well. I do prefer top esports team fighting as the game gets later. I do. The skirmishing will be dangerous. The setup for Vayne is still good, but if you get to 3 items, killing off the Zeri and the Victor, I think is going to be hard and straight front to backs. Public execution on top of 369. We lose about half his HP bar. We'll offer some last rites. The Maiden's dead again. Oh, just about alive. Breathe. Wants to get in range. Sundering Slam will do it. 369. That's 2 Maiden deaths now. It's very annoying. Fearless drafting has led to some weirder ones here. Game 4, backs against the wall again. We saw the Kalista game last time. Flash onto Kanavi, throws out the Aegis ult. Crisp is now quite deep. The gravity field prevented too much follow-up. So Crisp ends up down the Solar Flare and the Flash, and Kanavi just goes, yeah, that might have been a bit far, mate. Jackie now needs to be a bit careful here. Crisp with the black shield on top gets to go very deep. Lightning crash though. Cream low. Just about full. But look all the while at Jackie love. Full auto as the burst fire continue to get pressed. Q, 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 Q. And I don't know how many answers Xiaohu has. It's not got a flash, not got a way to run. An extra last right to Dark Binding. The Morning Mist secures it. And all the dreams that Weibo were building start to come apart at the seams as the cold reality of a team fight the top esports win starts to come to fruition. That will be Dragon top esports. 2 kills to boot. A little bit farther. Tried to play it with the black shield, but it just doesn't work. They don't have the solar flare. And Bessa without the ult doesn't get to join as freely as possible. Another very quick to come and defend, and Cream just about gets alive. Hit that line, does go out for it. Maybe actually, did it end up being a 2-for-1? Forgot about Ambessa landing that last Sundering Slam. Not gonna lie to you. Xiao starts to run. Does now the flash, and we're really for the Morgana to go at this point. 369 has donated the kill. Morning Mist lands. 369 just needs to be a bit careful. The rest of the top esports are around, and Breeze's gone really deep for this. Looking for the Zenith Blade, but Chris now gone very deep. Breeze publicly executes. Nice escape angle into the Hex Gate. Smooth extraction. Can't ask much better than that, can you? Looked a bit dicey for a second or two there. Reset from 369, heals back up. Picks himself up a control ward. Has got the Trinity Force at this point. Starts to change profile a little as a champion with that Triforce and the Steel Caps. Reset in the pit. Herald, 30 seconds. Weibo Gaming now around Cream. I don't know about this. Your face check earlier costs you a bite after the grubs. Doesn't overstep this time. Tormented Shadow. Picks that one up. Has to listen to Sonic again. That, for those uneducated, was a Sonic the Hedgehog reference. Herald charges forwards. Death Ray comes across. It's Hex Tech Ray, isn't it? That's the new name. 369 should smack this wave a little more. Does so. Slight lead to top esports. One objective separating that mark full feet to strength. Cream going to be hit by the Soul Shackles. Throws down his Chaos Storm, standing on top of that gravity field, on top of the Tormented Soul, just about out of range. Another Tormented Soul, though. Crisp is coming. Cream will be a dead man. The redemption kept Cream low. Jackie's here. Maybe he can look to punish more. Gets hit by the Zenith Blades. There's that much to punish. We'll start lightning crashing, though. Grand Starfall can look at Crisp, who doesn't have that much to work with until the flash comes on forward. Solar Flare cleansed from Jackie. Ooh, the Comet Spear nearly takes Crisp. Not quite enough damage. Does that end up being flash for cleanse and ult? Not the greatest, actually. A good kill for Xiaohu. Jackie will interrupt the back. Xiaohu will black shield himself, but does get interrupted nonetheless.
再来座坟墓如何？
Dragon, 50 seconds. Probably our next protocol will decide feats of strength marker. If Weibo get it, that is the full feats of strength. Top esports get it, it's down to turret. There is a world, actually, where the Yorick or the split push from the Victor becomes a threat here towards that turret. The top lane turret is quite low. Similarly, actually, for Weibo in this bot side, but 369 is there to try and prevent that from happening. In resetting. 20 seconds on Dragon. Hex gates allow faster recalls and later resets in general. First item's largely done across the board. It is that Kraken Slayer for the Vayne. Tunnel a second. See what she turns that into. I wonder if we might see a Hex Plate Vayne at some point. Feels like an item she'd love with changes. Goes. A little bit of a play. Solar Flare, only a stone to Kanavi. Shield bolts in for the public execution. Lightning Crash comes on down. Kanavi dead. Nice pick. Defensive play not quite in time. Yorick roamed up, but not there. That does mean the objective. Weibo Gaming's top esports don't really have much to say about it. TP out. Cream interrupted on his teleport. Chris gone very deep for this. Magnet Storm after. Gravity Field comes on full. Dark Binding is wide. Flash over for the Soul Shackles. Jackie needs to flash out of them. And Xiaohu helps keep his support alive. Didn't take the dragon. Kind of thought they would. Still are. A little bit too worried about the health bars and the respawns, I guess. Grand Starfall would have allowed Pantheon to rejoin a fight very fast. Back to the replay. Tongue trying to hold position in here, but the Solar Flare slow. That's a fair amount of work. Konami just gets blasted. And with Hung being dismounted, can't Magnet Storm. Queen doesn't really have the damages yet. Back to life. Jackie gets caught. Must have been Crisp with the Solar Flare. And a Dark Binding follow-up proving the death of the AD carry. Doesn't have the cleanse back up yet. Jackie dying in mid lane. It's happened once or twice. That will now be turret. So Weibo Gaming after nice rotation down. And feats of strength. Secure. There's the replay. Hex Flash, Solar Flare. Even in the middle of the wave, not safe. And no idea where Hung or Konami were, but not around mid is the answer. And now Weibo Gaming, up 2,000 gold. Do have feats of strength, by the way. The tracker at the top of the screen is broken. Also did get the dragon. So in fact, they did get the dragon. They have 2 dragons. They got first turret. The scoreboard at the top of the screen is slightly broken. Atakan now started. Weibo Gaming wanted to confirm the lead they have. Jackie here with double items, though. Breathe with a potential angle for public execution across the Dragon Pit wall. Keep your eyes on it. Off the Atakan they pull. Hung now stepping forwards. Atakan resets. Herald going to get dropped into that turret. Should take it and does so. The mid lane goes down all the while in favor of top esports. Looks like it'll be a Ryalize for Xiaohu, but even more so off the Tormented Shadow. Very obnoxious for somewhat short-range comp. Solar Flare comes on in. Konami throws a Aegis on, but the TC chain is so annoying. Crisp, though, forced to flash out. All of the damage of the Dark Procession, and now actually with that flash out, the top esports think about starting up Atakan. No, more just the bot side wave. Was Lulu banned? No. It went towards the engage option. Back to the old HUD. There we go. A little bit easier to track exactly where things are at. 3 grubs, 2 dragons. Next dragon will be spawning in X amount of time. So much CC. Yeah, there is quite a lot this game. But the combo of, theoretically, Morgana, Leona, very, very obnoxious. Hell, even Trundle Pillar into Silver Bolt Stun can be quite annoying. If you get caught by the pillar, the follow-up from Light can be very obnoxious. Vain CC predicated by terrain. Let me create some for you. Breathe, shoving up for this tier 1. No response yet, actually. I think it's just for free. That is going to be a tier 1 TPing in. But with Yorick TPing top and Breathe with his own TP, they can look at Atakan again with a man advantage. Yorick's pulled away from the turret. That's just going to be Breathe right back at it. That turret is gone. Not really sure what 369 got out of that TP topside, honestly. Turret TP's up to leave. To give up the turret anyway. Delays it, I guess, by a wave, but that's all it is. Atakan started by top esports. Breathe is TPing in now. Navi caught on the tormented soil. Ooh, my days gets back off it. Shock laser just wide. Navi left a little low. May want to go heal up off the Krugs. Can rejoin with the Grand Starfall if necessary. Dark Procession. Splits off Crisp and Breathe. Dragon starting, Soul Point available for Weibo. They do shred through this pretty fast with the Vayne. With a Trundle. Atakan started on the other side. It's a double objective start. Soul Point secured by Weibo Gaming. Atakan again a possibility, but throwing some more wards down. Top Esports happy to play this slow currently. They want a second item on Cream. They'd love a third on Jackie. Hexplate was indeed the buy for the Vayne. We saw Light try it earlier on the Nymaera unsuccessfully. More fine Lowers, more HP. Probably makes a bit more sense on Vayne. Nymaera in my mind, actually. They've never been a Cret AD carry. Really. Jackie potentially about to get dove on here. Wards go down. That one in the river from Top Esports is providing a lot of value. Atakan started. Are they going to come and contest? Are they going to be there in time? The binding will chunk Jackie down by half, and they're not there. It might well be gone. 7,000 HP. Konami needs to TP in shortly. Jackie being zoned off by Shahu and Chris. There's the Grand Starfall. It will be the flip. Redemption coming on in. Who wins it? It is Konami. They overplay it. Can't deal with the Pantheon man drop. Flash out of the public execution. TN goes down to the shield bolt, to the Comet Spear. Jackie needs to flash. Just about surviving Breathe. Not in a fight right now. Hung low. As Jackie goes down to the Tormented Soil. They kill off the Morgana though. AD carry traded. 2 for 1 right now. Crisp and Light on the wrong side of the play. False start alteration. Shield bolt into the Aegis Assault. Is a very dead bot lane. A double kill to Konami. As he steals the Atakan. Stars come falling out of Weibo's constellations. Ill omens indeed. As Top Esports find the fight and the Atakan. Gold lead evens up. Jackie dies, yes. But so did 3 other members. In the end, it's effectively an ace, though. Breathe and TN respawn. TN with no flash and now no blast cone. Getting into the pit will be next to impossible. Can maybe Hexgate over? Is that the dream? Has to be done perfectly. Can't do it. Now he's on the wrong side of the rift. There's only room for one jungler in town. TM throws into amazing speed on out. Tormented Shadow. Zone off. Top Esports from their mid-tier 1. They'll get that at least as a silver lining. But Atakan and Baron is a great moment for Top Esports. Jackie getting hit by that Dark Binding. He thought might be enough to zone people off, but Hung, Jackie trying to do enough to keep people busy, and Konami just gets to press R. Grand Starfill, Redemption Burst. TN gets the smite down, but not in time. Navi certainly does. Breathe gets a big chunk onto Jacula, who just about ends up burning out to the second. Tormented Soil ruled out. The problem is Weibo having to flash to the wrong side, can't Hexgate out, and the health buff's just better from Top Esports at that point. Gold lead over 1,000 now to Top Esports. Atakan is there. Queen pinned away by the pillar. In goes Konami. TN now chunked out very low. Soul Shackles come on force. Konami may well end and rooted, but not quite. Now Queen turning around with the gravity field with the Arcane Storm. Crisp sped off, goes down. Jackie picks it up. He's got an Infinity Edge. Zeri helping certify a moment or two. Another one for the yearbook. Their first kill of the game. And now the mid lane turret with Tien and Crisp down. 5v3. Their front line and a lot of their pick core off the board. Silver Scrapes looking more and more like bronze. Only a single game win for Weibo Gaming so far. They need this win. I don't think Top Esports are happy to give it to them. They've been so good around those objectives of Top Esports. This split. The Atakan snipe becoming so key. They pick themselves up a second dragon, deny Soul. Maiden stays alive. Breathe can't quite secure it, and not the best micro there, but now Breathe may well die for taking out the Maiden. The Ultra Shock laser comes across, and Breathe, who's been sniping Maidens all game, is punished for it by Top Esports collapsing. Traded ult for that happily. Turret now under siege.
起来，然后重回这个世界。
In they go to the enemy base. Shahu goes golden. Soul Shackle's in, but he's dead. So I suppose at the very least is hung. But it's his whole team that he will happily see sent down to the lower bracket. Weibo. An impressive, a truly impressive run through playoffs. You thought with this one, with the cooking, with the Morgana mid, with the Bane, with a great early game, they might be sending us to Silver Scrapes and back-to-back 5 games for them, but no. Top Esports too calm, too collected, too ruthless around the objectives. Kanabi drops out of the sky to steal Atakan,